getting set for kickoff at the Orange Bowl, and Miami up against one of the legends of college coaching tonight, and Florida A&M head coach Billy Joe, who has spent over a quarter of a century coaching college football. Later this fall, he should pick up his 200th win in a career that has included 2 NAIA national championships. And it's interesting the perspective that he brings to the game. Billy Joe will be coaching tonight from upstairs in the press box instead of down on the sideline. Frank?
Thanks, Beth. We'll be hearing from Beth Mowens periodically tonight down on the sideline. Miami has won the toss, and they have elected to receive. They'll be moving from left to right toward the open end of the Orange Bowl. Butch Davis starting year number 5 for the Miami Hurricanes. He has this program apparently back on track, John, after the years of probation and the lost scholarships, and certainly the win over Ohio State last week is an indication that the Canes are heading back toward the top. But they've got business to take care of tonight as Jeremy Edwards, number 12, will kick it off for the FAMU Rattlers. This is the Rattlers opener. Miami, of course, 1-0. Deep to receive for the Hurricanes will be Aaron Mosier and Andre King. Ready to go from the Orange Bowl. Hot, muggy evening. Nice crowd on hand. FAMU has a lot of alumni here in the South Florida area. They are out in force, as well as the FAMU band, which made the trip down. And here we go from the Orange Bowl. Edwards kick 5 yards deep. Aaron Mosier will take a knee, and it's a touchback on the opening kickoff. The Hurricanes will start 1st and 10 from their own 20. Miami's quarterback is the sophomore, the third-year sophomore from Tampa Catholic High School, Kenny Kelly. Kenny, of course, his first start last week against Ohio State. He did cause a couple of turnovers, but he scored a touchdown, threw for a touchdown, ran and threw for a pair of 2-point conversions. And John, the impressive thing about Kenny last week was that he never looked like he was panicked even when he made a mistake.
Well, it's plays like that, Frank. He can give you that intangible on the corner. He can make plays when bad things happen.
Canes begin 1st and 10 in the standard I set. Mondrell Fulcher, the fullback. James Jackson is the tailback. Jackson with the football. Not much room, squirts through and gets about 4 out of it. Teron Johnson, number 97, making the tackle for Florida A&M. Here are the backs and receivers. Santana Moss, 3 catches for over 100 yards last week. Reggie Wayne and Daniel Franks had 5 catches apiece. And on the offensive line, it is a mostly veteran group. Richard Mercier, a preseason All-American. Joaquin Gonzalez graded out highest on the coaches' films from the Ohio State game. 2nd and 6 Hurricanes from their 24. Again in the I set. Kelly gives to Jackson on the delay. Jackson will get about 3. Wendell Ashley, number 11, the outside linebacker from Miami Northwestern High School, making the tackle. Will bring up 3rd and 3 for the Hurricanes. Here's a look at the Florida A&M defense. Ebby Parsons out of Detroit, Michigan, 11 sacks last season for the Rattlers. The linebackers, as I mentioned, led by Wendell Ashley, the senior. He had 16 pass breakups and 4 sacks. Corey Johnson, also a Miamian. And the 3-man secondary, Darnell Vickers, had 6 interceptions to lead FAMU a year ago. 3rd and 3. First possession of the football game. Pitch to Jackson. Jackson around the 30, has first down yardage and shoved out of bounds, and a late penalty flag. Looks like we're going to get a late hit on Aaron Gray, the safety of FAMU. Jackson picked up enough for the first down, and they're going to tack on some more.
Yeah, nice run on the outside by James Jackson, the junior running back. Gets the corner, and then a bad decision by the free safety, Aaron Gray, hit Jackson well out of bounds, and that's going to cause 15 more yards against the Rattlers.
It is a Big East crew tonight, led by
After
our
the play
referee,
was over, late hit on the defense.
Dennis Hennigan, who makes the call and the indication. Here's one more look at the run by Jackson and the late hit.
Nice play on the outside. He gets a kick out block by his fullback, and then it's all speed to the outside. You didn't get to see the end, but on the end, a 15-yard penalty. Aaron Gray, number 2, the free safety, a bad decision from the secondary of FAMU.
1st and 10 Canes, nearly at midfield. Same personnel package. Their standard I set with Bubba Franks, the tight end, on the right side of the formation. Kelly, pump fakes. Going deep for Reggie Wayne, and overthrows him at the FAMU 15-yard line. Good coverage as the safety comes over, Grover Fields. And it'll be 2nd and 10 Hurricanes.
That's a nice call by Larry Coker on first down. You get a big play, you get a penalty tacked on. Now FAMU's defense, a lot of pressure up front with the linebackers, a lot of 8 men in the box, about 5 yards deep on the defensive side. So look for Miami on a change of possession or on first down to go for a home run, because it's man-to-man on the outside. You got Santana Moss and Reggie Wayne one-on-one on the outside.
2nd and long Hurricanes. Both receivers, Wayne and Moss, to the top of your screen. Mondrell Fulcher, the fullback, in motion, and the give to James Jackson. Jackson across the 50, picks up about 2. Cedric Bird, number 55, the junior out of Havana, Florida, making the tackle. And that'll bring up 3rd and long for Miami.
Kenny Kelly trying to get a rhythm going with the running game early. Look for the tight end. Last week against Ohio State, Bubba Franks, Daniel Franks, had 5 catches for 52 yards, and also on the outside, Santana Moss, big play receiver. But look for the tight end on a situation like this, Frank, short side of the field.
Well, you and I are both big fans of 8'8", Bubba Franks.
It's hard not to be at 6'6".
Depending on who you listen to, either the top tight end or the 2nd best tight end in the country behind the kid from Louisville. On 3rd and long. Kelly down the right side and overthrows Reggie Wayne inside the FAMU 30-yard line. So Kenny Kelly off to a bit of a slow start. Vernon Mitchell had the coverage for the Rattlers, and that will bring up a punting situation for the Hurricanes.
Kenny just trying to squeeze a corner route to the outside to Santana Moss. Nice coverage on the outside by FAMU. Vernon Mitchell, as you said, Frank, had 19 breakups last year for the Rattlers. Nice positioning by the defensive secondary.
Demetrius Bendros, number 86, back to receive, standing at his own 10-yard line, awaiting the punt of Andy Crossland. Patel Vecchio with the snap. Crossland hangs it high. Bendros signals fair catch, lets it bounce, and it is going to reach the end zone for a touchback. So with 12:34 left to go in the first quarter, Florida A&M will take over for the first time as Miami stalls at midfield. We are scoreless in the first quarter at the Orange Bowl. FAMU will have the football when we come back. You are watching Big East football from ESPN+. 12:34 left to go first quarter. Scoreless in the Orange Bowl as Miami takes on the Florida A&M Rattlers. And you're looking at Jacque Nunnally out of Miami's Edison High School. An incredible 109 receptions last year, over 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns. A 2-time Black College All-American.
Yeah, 12 touchdowns, over 2,700 yards in the last 2 years. Just a terrific athlete on the outside.
Florida A&M starts in their 4 wide receiver set, and Miami responds with their nickel defensive package. Quinn Gray, the quarterback, out of the shotgun. Gives to the fullback, Williams. Has some room. Williams across the 25 and across the 35 to the 37-yard line before Edward Reed makes the tackle for the Hurricanes, but that's a pickup of 17 yards and a first down.
Yeah, big play on first down and no huddle by the Rattlers as well. They're lining up on the line of scrimmage, trying to get some tempo to this offense.
In the 4 wide receiver formation. Gray again out of the shotgun. Quick 3-step drop, complete to Nunnally at the 40-yard line, and Jeff Popovich rolls him out of bounds. A minimal pickup of about 3.5 yards on first down. Here's a look at the rest of the Florida A&M offense. Quinn Gray, the quarterback out of Fort Lauderdale. Demetrius Bendros, another local kid, and Kanan Lamb had a big year last year as well with 86 catches. And the offensive line, James Agnew, a junior college transfer from Los Angeles, leads the offensive front. 2nd and 6 for the Rattlers, still out of the shotgun. Gray, quick drop, pass is complete on the far sideline. Demetrius Bendros makes the catch. Leonard Myers had the coverage, but that should be enough for a first down.
Nice throw on the outside by Quinn Gray. As you said, Frank, a Dillard High School graduate, has a big, strong arm, 6'3", 230 pounds. He's only a sophomore. He likes to put the ball down the seams. You see Florida A&M right away the first 4 or 5 plays trying to spread the Miami defense out. Miami has 2 extra defensive backs in as it is.
Al Blades has not been in the starting lineup for Miami. He had a partially dislocated wrist last week against Ohio State, and he did not start the ball game. We'll take a look at the defense after this play. Gray, complete to Nunnally at midfield. Nunnally cuts back to the inside, still on his feet. Jacque Nunnally giving ground and finally taken down at the 46-yard line. Popovich and Philip Buchanan, the true freshman, making the tackle. Let's take a look at the Miami defense as FAMU going with the no-huddle offense. Another look at the pass to Nunnally. As it wound up, he ran about 30 yards and gained actually 7.
He would have gained about another 10 yards had he gone up the sideline. You might be able to do this against any other team except the University of Miami. They can match you speed for speed, so really losing about 10 yards coming backwards.
2nd and 3 for the Rattlers. No running backs in the formation. Pressure from Burrow. Gray gets away from Sweeney, fires it down the middle, complete to Kanan Lamb at the 30. Kanan Lamb with some room, cuts it back. Kanan Lamb at the Miami 10. And finally, Nate Webster and Leonard Myers combine to bring him down at the 8-yard line. A big play moving it from the 46 of the Canes to inside the 10. And the run after catch. In fact, they call these receivers, John, the rack group.
Wow, I tell you what, they're throwing it. What an athletic play by Gray. The quarterback keeps his balance and his mindset to stay behind the line of scrimmage. Then he finds Kanan Lamb down the left side. What a move back across the grain. Looked like Nate Webster, 52, keeping him out of the end zone, but Florida A&M on a little bit of a roll, no huddle. Miami cannot substitute. They have to stay in the dime package, and right now, Kanan Lamb and Quinn Gray and the rest of the Rattlers really picking this defense apart.
Gain was 38 yards to the Miami 8. Travis Williams, the tailback. Fake by Gray. He's still got it. Gray, end zone, intercepted and dropped by Myers. Leonard Myers nearly had the pick.
Yeah, bad decision that time by Gray, the quarterback, a one-receiver route. They were trying to suck everybody in and really hit number 22, as you say, Leonard Myers, his high school teammate, right in the hands, and he drops the football in the end zone.
Leonard Myers, part of that Miami defensive crew. Damian Lewis had 2 sacks last week against Ohio State. Michael Smith, we don't know how much we'll see Michael tonight because Miami is going a lot in the dime and nickel package, and Al Blades did not start. James Lewis gets the start instead. 2nd and goal from the Rattlers. Quinn Gray out of the shotgun. Quick look in pass, complete, and then dropped. As Bendros was hit hard, James Lewis and Leonard Myers combining on the coverage, and Lewis looked like he knocked it loose.
Yeah, nice defensive play on the outside by Lewis. Just a small window for Quinn Gray to try to throw the quick slant up top to Bendros, but incomplete. Nice play, nice defensive play by the Canes.
3rd and goal for Florida A&M. Again, they operate with 4 wide receivers.
Watch the quarterback draw here. They've got it Miami spread out.
Kenneth Williams is the lone running back. Bendros, or rather Nunnally, shifts from the left side to the right side of the formation. Gray, again the quick look in and threw it behind his receiver, going for Mitchell, and Mike Rumpf had the coverage as Cedric Mitchell was looking for the quick slant, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, that's one ball that Quinn Gray would love to have back because he had Cedric Mitchell on the quick slant wide open, and Mike Rumpf had outside leverage on him, but a good throw, and this is 6 points for FAMU. Watch this ball. It goes behind him. It was technique on the outside. Just didn't have to throw it that hard. He tried to drill it to him. All he had to do was put it out in front. It's 6 points for FAMU.
From the 15, Roland Dykstra will hold for Jeremy Edwards. Good snap, placement down, kick is on the way, and it is good. And with 10 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Florida A&M has jumped out to a 3-0 lead over the Miami Hurricanes. John, an impressive-looking drive by FAMU, but they stall inside the 10.
Well, Frank, I hope you have your track shoes on. It's going to be a contest tonight.
We'll be right back. You're watching Big East Football from ESPN+.
Where you choose to go to college is an important decision, and the University of Miami has some distinct advantages. Private, selective, comprehensive, challenging, medium size, research, location, scholarship, diversity, value. Take advantage of all we have to offer. The University of Miami.
Back at the Orange Bowl, 10 minutes and 12 seconds left to go first quarter. Florida A&M on a 25-yard field goal by Jeremy Edwards has converted on their first drive, and they lead the Hurricanes 3-0. And Greg Schiano, the defensive coordinator, certainly has his work cut out. Butch Davis and his coaching staff, John, because this no-huddle, 4-wide-out, 5-receiver offense of Florida A&M puts a lot of pressure on defensive backs, and Miami missing 3 backup defensive backs who would normally play a lot in the game, and instead you got some freshmen in there in James Lewis and Philip Buchanan.
Well, it's great strategy by Coach Joe and the rest of that offensive staff for Florida A&M. Miami depleted in the secondary, going with some younger youthful talent that don't have the experience in the secondary. Let's spread Miami out and really try to throw the football and win it put all of the pressure on your quarterback to make the plays.
Edwards kickoff with Mosier and King deep. Andre King, 8 yards deep, bobbles it out of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Miami starts 1st and 10 from their 20. There are 5 backup Miami defensive players who are under academic suspension, including Marquise Fitzgerald and Delvin Brown, both who have started in the past for Miami, are the backup cornerbacks, and both did not play against Ohio State and are not playing tonight.
Well, let's see if Miami's offense can keep the ball away from FAMU's offense, because as we stated in the open, the best 2 players on defense for Miami is Nate Webster and Dan Morgan, and they're primarily out of the football game when throwing the football. Miami
had to go with a lot of one linebacker in the dime package against those wide receiver formations, the 4 and 5 wide receiver. 1st and 10 Canes, Fulcher and Jackson behind Kenny Kelly. Kenny looking to put it up. Over the middle to his tight end, Bubba Franks, complete out to the 35, where Aaron Gray hauls him down, but that's a pickup of 15 and a Canes first down.
Well, that's a matchup Miami should really hone in on tonight, because you're going to have a lot of one-on-one on the outside, but you have the 6'6" Daniel Franks occupying the middle of the football field. He's a big target going down the field, and all Kenny Kelly has to do is get ample protection up front, little play fake, and let Bubba really run down the middle of the football field untouched. A nice pass, nice touch pass by Kenny Kelly.
1st and 10 Canes out of the standard I set. Jackson on the trap play, gets a good block and gets almost 8 yards before Grover Fields, the outside linebacker, brings him down along with Vernon Mitchell.
Quick hitter off the right tackle side. Joaquin Gonzalez and Martin Bibla did a nice job at the point of attack, really separating. And then you have James Jackson, 5'11", 210. He squeaks up in between the down block from Gonzalez and does a nice job getting into the FAMU secondary.
2nd and 2 for Miami as Jackson picked up 8 on the carry, first down carry. Ball at the Miami 44. Play fake to Jackson. Kelly down the hash mark, complete to Reggie Wayne at the FAMU 40-yard line. Richard Brooks, number 28, making the tackle, but that is a Miami first down. 9:05 left to go first quarter.
There's no defense, Frank, for a great catch, and Kenny Kelly tried to bring that ball down a little bit, but he got it close. That's all you have to do with these receivers on the outside. Get it close to Santana Moss, and in this instance, get it close to Reggie Wayne. Watch him separate and get up top to get the football. Just a great athletic skill reception by a terrific junior receiver.
Pickup was 17 yards. Moss and Andre King, the wide receivers, now both set to the right side of the formation, the bottom of your screen. 1st and 10 Canes at the Rattler 40. Delay give to Jackson. Jackson run down from behind. Nice play by Darnell Vickers, the junior out of Miami Edison High School, 5'9" and 165. He held it to about a yard.
Frank, I think first down is when Miami's going to want to attack FAMU's defense through the air, because on first down, Darnell Vickers, he's listed as a cornerback. He ran down the running back James Jackson from behind. They had about 8 or 9 guys crowding the line of scrimmage. First down's a big down for Miami to take a shot.
Clock moving with 8:18 to go first quarter. FAMU with a 3-0 lead. Miami's second possession of the football game. Jackson again with the football. Good blocking. Jackson hurdles across to the 32-yard line. Number 48, Greg Ray, the outside linebacker, making the tackle. Jackson comes up about 1.5 yards shy of the first down.
Nice run by James Jackson, but credit the blocking up front of Mondrell Fulcher. You know, he's a converted tight end playing fullback. Number 18 did a nice job at the point of attack, and Richard Mercier also pulling out in front of James Jackson. Nice job by the offensive line and fullback Mondrell Fulcher.
You would think that the way Miami was able to move the ball on the ground against Ohio State, that they should be able to do that against Florida A&M. 3rd and a little less than 2. From the FAMU 31, Fulcher in motion. Will McPartland in at fullback for the Hurricanes. He leads Jackson through the hole, and Jackson dives to the 29, should have enough for the first down. Greg Ray again in on the tackle for the Rattler defense. And that is a Hurricane first down at the 29-yard line of Florida A&M. 7:20 left to go first quarter. Frank Ford and John Congemi with you, along with Beth Mowens down on the field.
Frank, that's a great example of what a year of experience will do. Watching Edgerrin James in a situation like that, there really wasn't anything there. James Jackson knew he only had to get a yard, and that's exactly what he did.
Miami now with the single wide receiver, double tight end personnel group. Mondrell Fulcher, the second tight end in motion. The fake to Jackson. Throw for Bubba Franks is intercepted by Gray. The overthrow from Kenny Kelly, and Aaron Gray made the interception at the FAMU 14-yard line.
What a great interception by Aaron Gray, the free safety from the FAMU secondary. The ball was high. Wide open was the tight end Bubba Franks, and if Kenny Kelly's been anywhere throwing the football tonight. He's been high. Looks like he's staying on his back foot, and just a great concentration play by Aaron Gray to keep 1 foot in bounds and to catch the football. Big turnover by the FAMU defense.
I'm not sure Kenny didn't get a little greedy there. It looked like he had McPartland open on the shorter out route. Instead tried to go to Franks and overthrew him. FAMU takes over 1st and 10 from their 14 with 6:55 left to go first quarter. Kenneth Williams, the lone running back, out of the shotgun. Gray over the middle, and the pass is dropped by Vendros. Let's go down on the sidelines to Beth Mowens. Beth?
Thank you very much, Frank. Well, during that last offensive set, Greg Sciano, the defensive coordinator, talked to his secondary about staying on their man in coverage, even if there's a breakdown at the line of scrimmage. And then he turned it over to Greg Mark, who told the defensive lineman, we have to contain the outside and force the quarterback back in towards our defensive pressure. Frank?
On 2nd and 10, Gray, pass tipped and nearly intercepted by Nate Webster. Notorious WEB almost coming up with his 2nd career interception. He had one last year in the Micron PC Bowl against North Carolina State. It'll bring up a 3rd and 10.
Credit pressure up front from William Joseph, and it looked like Matt Sweeney trying to force Quinn Gray out of the pocket. He forced it down the middle of the football field. You cannot throw the football late down the middle, and Nate Webster almost came down with a big interception.
Again, the Rattlers with the 4 wide receiver formation. Gray out of the shotgun. Checking off. On 3rd and 10. Low snap, give to the fake to the fullback Williams. Gray throwing it deep and overthrows at midfield as he was going for Vendros, but very good coverage by Mike Rumpf and Edward Reed, and that'll bring up a punting situation for the Rattlers.
That's a nice defensive series. 3 and out. You come after Quinn Gray and the rest of the Rattler offense on the first possession, just really stuffed it down your throat, throwing the football. They come out 3 plays and out. Nice adjustments and nice pressure by the defensive front for the Canes.
TJ Smith will be in to kick for the Rattlers, standing at his goal line. Santana Moss is at the Hurricane 45 to receive. Boucher McIntosh is the long snapper. Smith barely got it away. Short takes a big hop. Santana Moss at the 50 will get as much as he can and reaches the Rattler 44-yard line, where the Hurricanes will take over on offense. 1st and 10 with 6:31 left to go in the first quarter. Florida A&M still hanging on to that field goal lead. It's 3-0 Rattlers. We'll be right back from the Orange Bowl. You are watching Big East football from ESPN+. Action at the Orange Bowl. The officials fooled us. We thought they were taking a timeout, but they got ready to play, and Kenny Kelly completed a 32-yard pass to Santana Moss, and James Jackson ran for 2 yards. So it's 2nd and 8 from just inside the FAMU 10-yard line. Mondrell Fulcher in motion. Jackson behind a Will McPartland block, trying to get to the outside. Aaron Gray will drag him down for no gain inside the 10-yard line. Let's take a look at the pass from Kenny Kelly to Santana Moss for 32 yards.
Watch the difference, Frank, the way Kenny Kelly comes off the play fake and really steps into this ball and follows through. He throws a rope down the left side, and Santana Moss does an excellent job of positioning his body and not running past the football. He kind of geared it down a little bit to catch the football and stay in bounds.
Santana Moss last week had 3 catches for 115 yards. That's 38.3 yards per catch. We'll do the math for you.
I trust you.
Late substitution for Florida A&M. They're trying to get the right defensive personnel on the field, and now the Rattlers will have to call a timeout. Miami will have a 3rd and about 8. They have to reach the 2-yard line for a first down. And Kenny Kelly, John, looked a little bit off target on the first couple series for Miami, but that completion to Santana hopefully will get his self-confidence going.
Yeah, if anything, Kenny Kelly was throwing the football high. He was putting too much air into the football, and really the ball was floating on him. That time, the nice pass out to the left side to Santana Moss, he really got his feet underneath him, stood tall in the pocket, and fired the football outside. And that's what you have to do. Maybe one pass gets rid of the first 2 or 3 passes that he missed open receivers, but Kenny Kelly has a big, strong arm. He has a cannon of a right arm, and once he gets one pass completed and gets going in a little bit of a rhythm, I think he's going to be settling just fine.
As I said after the game last week, no matter which way you cut it, Kenny Kelly is a sophomore quarterback, and sophomore quarterbacks are going to make mistakes. He had a couple last week against Ohio State. He's thrown 1 pick already here tonight, but he has enough athleticism and enough of an arm that you're going to have some growing pains, and you're going to have to live with those growing pains because he's too much of a talent not to be a very good quarterback at some point.
Every quarterback's going to make a mistake, and I don't care what level of football you're going to play in and how good you are. It's just that you have to limit your mistakes, and where you do it on the football field really dictates how bad it'll be for the rest of the team. And Kenny Kelly, yeah, he threw a couple picks against Ohio State. He threw one here against early against FAMU, but I think he's got the people around him to be a competent quarterback, and he's only going to get better. We've just seen glimpses of how good he could be right now.
3rd down and 8 for the Hurricanes, just inside the Rattlers' 10-yard line. You see the score and the time remaining in the first quarter. Miami with the 3 wide receiver set. Wayne and Moss to the top of the screen. Andre King is the 3rd wide out. Kelly has to call timeout as the play clock was nearly down to 0. He was trying to check off, John. He saw something, but he could not get the checkoff done before the play clock was going to run out. So the Hurricanes take their first charge timeout.
Well, I think he was salivating, trying to tell Santana Moss, run the quick slant, run it now, because I don't have a lot of time. The Rattlers came in, there was man-to-man coverage. It looked like the linebackers were not going to pull out. They were going to blitz, and Santana Moss was ready to run, just not enough time on the play clock.
You know, John, people looked at the schedule, and they say, well, it's FAMU, it's Division I AA, and Miami should blow these guys out. But he talked to the Miami guys during the week, and they were very respectful of FAMU's offense because this is, I don't care what level of football you're playing at, this is a team that scored at least 50 points 7 times last year in 7 different games, including 84 in one game. And anybody with those kind of athletes and those kind of weapons, you got to give them respect.
And they match Miami speeds for speed. They might not match him with size across the interior lines on offense and defense, but at the skill position, at quarterback, at defensive back, at wide receiver and running back, they have the speed to stay with Miami. So it's a dangerous combination, especially on offense for FAMU. If you're going to spread it out and go 4 and 3 wide receivers and just play almost a pickup game with Miami, and Miami's depleted at the secondary spot, so it works in the favor of the Rattlers.
Not only that, Florida A&M has 33 kids from South Florida, Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach counties, and you know those guys are fired up to be coming down here and playing in the Orange Bowl. 3rd and 8 for Miami. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Kelly straight drop. Good blitz pickup by Miami. Wide open touchdown. Santana Moss, Kenny Kelly, 2-6, 4-6.
Yeah, that's the play, Frank, they wanted to get to before the 25-second clock ran down, but Kenny Kelly this time had the patience. He didn't go to the 3-step drop. He went to a 5-step drop, let Santana work ISO one-on-one on the left hash mark. He breaks in and a wide open Santana Moss in for the Hurricane touchdown.
2nd touchdown of the year for Santana Moss out of Miami Carroll City High School, and the 2nd fastest player on the team, a star track athlete in high school and also at the University of Miami, and he puts it in the end zone for Miami's first touchdown of the night. The conversion kick from Andy Crossland is good. 5 minutes, 33 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and Miami has their first lead of the night at 7-3. John, a drive that started at FAMU's 46-yard line and well executed by the Hurricanes.
Yeah, Santana Moss, a big play to get down there, and then a nice job by Kenny Kelly. Great blocking by the center. Ty Wise comes out, provides enough time for Kenny Kelly to step up and find a wide open Santana Moss for 6.
Santana Moss, a great triple jumper in high school, and he also runs on the Miami track team, runs the sprints, and also on the relay team, and he is a Big East indoor champion. And I'll tell you what, between him and Darryl Jones, it's a pretty good match race.
They've got some speed on the outside. Boy, you can't say enough about the offensive line providing protection for that man right there. Kenny Kelly having a beautiful night so far, 4 of 7 for 74 yards. One bad pass, he did throw an interception, but it didn't come back to haunt the Canes. Actually, they get the ball back and go right down and score. Kenny Kelly trying to get his feet under him in his 2nd collegiate start.
Well, I think the big challenge tonight will be for Miami's defense and how they can handle this wide open Florida A&M offense. Back deep to receive, Demetris Bendros, number 86, and number 21, Travian Turner will await the kickoff. Andy Crossland, who had a good week last week punting and kicking off, but just a nightmare on the field goal side of it. Missed 2 field goals inside 30 yards against Ohio State, both from the right hash mark, and he seems to have a little bit of a mental block from that hash, but that's something that's going to have to be straightened out in big ball games coming up.
Yeah, you don't want to have that come back to haunt you in a game where it's a 3-point game, and luckily for the Hurricanes, it didn't affect the outcome of the football game.
Here's Crossland's kick into a slight breeze. Bendros about 3 yards deep, and he almost stepped on the goal line. But it is a touchback. Dennis Henninger, the referee, says touchback. And had Bendross stepped across that goal line, that would have been a safety.
That would have been a feeding frenzy on the goal line, because there were about 4 or 5 orange shirts on special teams coming about 15 or 20 miles an hour down the football field.
1st and 10 Hurricanes, or rather for the Rattlers, as the Hurricanes again have to go with their nickel defensive package, their dime package actually. Nate Webster, the only linebacker in the game. And that's not good for Miami, because you're taking Dan Morgan off the field. They're forced into this, but Dan Morgan not playing a whole lot of snaps so far tonight. The fullback Williams with the carry. He'll squeeze out about 2 as Damian Lewis and Nate Webster combine to make the tackle for the Hurricanes.
Well, Frank, the defensive front for Miami starting to settle in. That's the play that the Rattlers opened the game with. They opened it up for a first down at about 17 yards. This time, he didn't do it. And you take a look at 52, Webster in the middle of the football field. He holds his ground, and he waits for the running back, Kenneth Williams, to come to him, meets him only for a 2-yard gain.
2nd and 8 for the Rattlers from their 22. Again, Williams, the fullback. And he gets about a yard. First contact from Jamal Green, and then Michael Barreau, number 93, finished him off. And it'll bring up 3rd and long for FAMU.
Nice pursuit that time by the Miami defensive front and linebacker. Nate Webster did a nice job of really suffocating the running play.
4 wide receivers in the formation for Florida A&M on 3rd and long. Williams, the only running back, alongside Quinn Gray, the Rattler quarterback. Miami shows blitz. Here they come. Gray, pass is incomplete at the 40-yard line. Ed Reed coming on the blitz and decks Quinn Gray, and Gray is still down at the FAMU 10-yard line.
And it doesn't look like he's going to get up right now. A nice shot delivered by Edward Reed on a blitz right up the middle. He showed nice patience, not going off sides, trying to time up the snap count. You see him along with number 23, James Lewis. Lewis gets in as well, but number 20, Edward Reed, coming in and delivering a big blow to Quinn Gray, the Rattlers quarterback, and he's still down on the Orange Bowl grass.
It'll be a punting situation when we do come back to play. Quinn Gray, last year in a relief role, Patrick Bonner, the All-American, 9 out of 24, 95 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. He's a 6'3", 230-pounder, so we're not talking about a small guy. I mean, this is a kid who can take a lick.
Yeah, and Edward Reed's a big guy, too, 6 foot, 190 pounds. And last week against Ohio State, he pressured their quarterbacks 3 times. This time he comes in and forces Quinn Gray to throw the football a little bit earlier than he wanted to. And you see Butch Davis on the sideline trying to figure out what he can do to stop this or slow down this Rattler offense. I think he found something in 1st and 2nd down. If they're not going to throw the ball, you can get him into a predictable down, a 3rd and long. You can then come after Florida A&M and really make them make a play with duress.
Edward Reed did have one of Miami's 3 sacks last week. You mentioned one of the 3 pressures, and one of them was a sack. Quinn Gray still down inside the Rattler 10-yard line as the training staff works on the sophomore quarterback from Fort Lauderdale Dillard High School. Hurricane defense seemingly getting a bit more of a handle on this Rattler offense, but as I mentioned, they've been going with the dime package. James Lewis starting in place of Al Blade, so you're down another defensive back there. And then the freshmen Philip Buchanan and Jeff Popovich, the senior former walk-on, complete the dime package for defensive backs for the Hurricanes. But they're going to get a workout tonight because they're going to be chasing these wide receivers all over the field.
Yeah, they're going to be dog-tired after the game, but it's probably what Miami practiced for all weekend or all week long, trying to get into that nickel, trying to get into the dime package, and really stay consistent in what they do defensively. They can't get out of coverage, and they can't make up for someone. They have to stay almost in a defensive lane, if you will, and stay in coverage, because if they get out, that's where FAMU can hurt you down the football field.
Well, Quinn Gray is still down and still being worked on. There's one of the backup quarterbacks, Roland Dykstra. Also, Jawan Sider, transfer from West Virginia. He's listed as the number 2 quarterback. Dykstra's the holder on the field goals and extra points. And neither of them even warming up.
Well, I don't know.
Just a little bit
think
surprising.
I might want to grab a football and get loose, because it doesn't look like Quinn Gray's going to be in any hurry getting back to the game tonight. Hopefully he's okay, because Quinn Gray started out that first series really firing the football around the field. Looked like he was having a lot of fun, and it must mean a lot to him to come back to the South Florida area and play in front of his family and friends, as you said, Frank, from Dillard High School in Fort Lauderdale. Now you see Dykstra trying to loosen up a little bit, but let's hope that he gets up and he's able to get back into this football game.
Quinn Gray comes out of a great high school program, Dillard High School. Had a lot of success over the years, one of the most supported high school programs in South Florida, routinely gets crowds of 10,000 or more.
And they produce a lot of college and pro athletes. That's a great breeding ground for athletes getting into small schools and as well as big-time college.
One place they send a lot of guys is Auburn University. Auburn always gets a lot of guys out of Dillard. Well, there's a look at Gray being assisted off the field. Could be ribs, possibly a hip injury. Don't want to speculate any further than that, but as you can see, he's moving quite gingerly. And that is not good news for Florida A&M. Much like last week when Ohio State had two relatively inexperienced quarterbacks, Florida A&M's quarterbacks are all pretty inexperienced. As I mentioned, Gray with 24 passes last year. Sider transferred in from West Virginia, where he really never got a sniff with the Mountaineers, with Mark Bulger as the quarterback.
Right.
Jarrad Jackson, number 13, also starting to warm up. So right now, John, it's you or I are just at guessing now who might come into the ball game. TJ Smith on to kick it away. Santana Moss stands at his own 44.
It looked like Nick Ward was close on the last punting attempt by the Rattlers.
Smith gets it away. High wobbly kick. Moss at his 46. Moss to midfield. Gets a good block from Mike Rump, but a superb special teams tackle. Number 43, John Battle, coming downfield and holds that to a yard return as he was just flying downfield on the special teams for Florida A&M. It's 4:08 left to go first quarter. Miami with the 7-3 lead and take over in good field position at their own 47-yard line. Frank Fort and John Congemi with you. Beth Mowens is roaming the sidelines, trying to pick up some of the flavor of this game. And one place to head is the Florida A&M band. We're looking forward to seeing them at halftime.
That's right.
One of the most storied bands in all of college football. Jackson and Fulcher, the running backs, behind Kenny Kelly. This is the fullback. Fulcher gets across midfield to the FAMU 49-yard line. Grover Fields and Teron Johnson combining on the tackle. Pickup of 4 on first down. It'll bring up 2nd and 6. Mondrell had 1 carry last week. Also caught 2 passes, one of them a big 42-yarder.
Yeah.
And his versatility really helps this Miami offense.
It really does. You can line up Mondrell as a fullback, as a second tight end, and really almost use mirrors for the defense. They really don't know what position he's going to line up and what he's going to do from that position.
Standard personnel package for the Hurricanes as they'll snap it from the FAMU 49-yard line on 2nd and 6. Kelly, 3-step drop, threw it high for Reggie Wayne off his fingertips and incomplete. And Kelly slapping himself on the thigh pads as he knows he had Reggie Wayne wide open for a first down.
Reggie Wayne did a terrific job really turning Vernon Mitchell, the cornerback from the Rattlers, really towards the sidelines, and then all he had to do was break inside and look for the football. It was delivered high again. Now, this is probably about the 3rd time Kenny has missed high tonight.
Reggie Wayne, Santana Moss, and Andre King all in the game as wide receivers for the Canes. And Will McPartland is the lone running back, the fullback, behind Kenny Kelly on a 3rd and 6. FAMU shows blitz. Here they come. Good pickup by McPartland. Complete to Santana Moss. Shoved out of bounds by Fields at the 43-yard line, and I think he just has enough for the first down.
Santana Moss does a terrific job with his body, trying to actually idle down and turn to the football. This football drifts him up the field, and that's not what you want to do when you're throwing an out route, but Santana has just a great awareness of where people are, and he just idles down and actually gets bigger than the 5'10", 175 frame. He goes up, climbs the ladder, gets the ball, and moves the chains for the Cane offense.
It is a Miami first down. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left to go first quarter. 7-3 Hurricanes. Touchdown coming on a Kenny Kelly to Santana Moss 8-yard pass.
I would look for a big play down at the bottom. You see 84 Andre King, a great time to go downtown.
This is James Jackson behind Mercier. Jackson got a great block from Mercier, and James Jackson is going to take it to the house. Well, it's JJ all day, every day. Touchdown, Miami.
I wanted a big play from the outside by Andre King. I just picked the wrong number. James Jackson made something that really didn't look like it was going to go for a whole bunch, turned it into a touchdown. Great blocks on the outside, as you said, Frank. Richard Mercier, 62, and Andre King on the outside provided James Jackson the alley he needed to take the football in for 6 points.
Well, Miami did a great job sealing to the inside. You get Richard Mercier out there clean, he's going to knock somebody on his keister, and that's exactly what he did. Andy Crossland in to attempt the extra point. Pat Del Vecchio will snap, and Jeff Popovich, the football player turned summertime model, will hold. We'll explain more on that in just a second. Snap is good. Popovich gets it down, and Crossland knocks it through. And with 3:11 left to go in the first quarter, it's Miami 14 and Florida A&M 3. Now back to Jeff Popovich, number 33. We'll get to him in a moment, but let's take another look at the touchdown run from James Jackson, 43 yards out. And watch how clean Mercier comes to the outside, number 62.
Bubba Franks does a great job. You see the kick-out block by Mondrell Fulcher right there, 62. Mercier on the inside, and you don't see 31, Vernon Mitchell, getting blocked by Andre King, the wide receiver. Everybody has to throw in their part. When you have a back that can have so many big plays, you got to block downfield, and you see James Jackson just waiting for Mercier to throw the block. Then he kicks it into high gear, and nobody's going to catch James Jackson, number 21, when he gets into the open field.
No question about it. James Jackson, 24 carries, 89 yards last week against Ohio State, a hard-earned 89 yards, and had a 44-yard touchdown run. That touchdown was from 43 yards out, and it gives Miami a 14-3 lead with 3:11 left to go in the first quarter. Number 33, Jeff Popovich, there in the special teams huddle. During the summer, he and his older brother, Doug, they got picked to be models for a magazine shoot, and what it turned out to be was the Abercrombie & Finch summer catalog, and Jeff Popovich was the cover boy. He was in a mall one day, and he saw his picture on a bag that somebody was carrying out of the store. He said, oh my goodness, I didn't know it was going to be that much, and he was on the covers. Obviously, he's taking a lot of ribbing from his teammates, who call him Model Pop.
Man, a couple curls with dumbbells, and I'd love to be in that locker room giving some ribbing to Jeff Popovich as well.
I'll tell you what, he came here as 170 pounds, soaking wet with a rock in his pocket, a walk-on quarterback from Tucson, Arizona. And over his 4 years here, he has built himself up to 200 pounds. And I mean, he's put on 30 pounds of rock-solid muscle. I mean, this kid is really put together. The Miami scoring drive, by the way, 4 plays, 53 yards, and it took only 57 seconds. Andy Crossland will kick it off. Demetris Bendros and Travian Turner back to receive for the Rattlers of FAMU. Crossland's kick, twisting down to Bendros, a yard deep. Reverse coming, no, fake reverse. Bendros still has it. And Bendros got away, lost the football, and Miami's got it at the 22-yard line. James Scott, the backup defensive back, a converted wide receiver, comes up with the turnover.
That was the case, Frank, and one too many moves that time by Bendros. He did a nice job avoiding, first faking on the reverse and then avoiding the first wave of Kane's special teamers, but then he just lost the football, coughed it up in Miami. A big play on special teams.
So the Hurricanes in excellent field position at the FAMU 22-yard line with a chance to add to their lead. 2:59 to go first quarter. That's the kind of mistake FAMU just can't afford if they're going to stick around in this ball game. On 1st and 10, Miami goes with the double tight end, one wide receiver set. Will McPartland in the game as a fullback, and Mondrell Fulcher becomes the second tight end. This is the versatility we talked about. Jackson swinging to the left side, cuts it back at the 20 and gets to the 19-yard line. Aaron Gray at the bottom, number 2, making the tackle, along with number 31, Vernon Mitchell. James Jackson so far in the game, by the way, 11 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown. 2nd and 7 for the Hurricanes from the FAMU 19, 2:35 and the clock moving here in the first quarter. Nice crowd on hand here in the Orange Bowl on a warm, muggy evening. Miami now with the double tight end, double wide receiver personnel package. Fulcher in motion. Kelly straight drive. Looking for Fulcher, has him at the 20 to the 15, where he's cut down by Darnell Vickers. Pickup is 5. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
That's something that Miami really can take advantage of. They tried to do it from the middle to the end of last year, but they have 2 great tight ends slash fullbacks in Daniel Franks and Mondrell Fulcher, and they can really utilize, really burn deep defenses by going and using a flood route, which means one will go low, one will go high, and Santana Moss clears out, and you just don't have enough bodies to the weak side of the football field to cover everybody.
Miami again in the power formation. One wide receiver, Andre King, on the field, and he's set to the bottom of the screen. Double tight end, McPartland, the fullback in front of Jackson. This is James Jackson behind a good block from McPartland. Jackson diving inside the 10 to the 7-yard line, and it'll be 1st and goal Hurricanes.
Nice job. You called it. Will McPartland, the fullback, number 35 that time, from the point of attack, just does a nice job getting a stalemate and does a nice job breaking some room for James Jackson off the right side.
Well, one area Miami should be able to take advantage with that 8-man front for FAMU. Wendell Ashley, 11, and Grover Fields, 35. They're listed as outside linebackers, but they're both around 6 feet and less than 200 pounds. They are kind of safeties in disguise. So Miami should be able to power block on those guys. First and goal for the Hurricanes from the FAMU 7-yard line. Jackson again behind Mercier, dives over the 5. Darnell Vickers sliced his legs out from under him. And then Corey Johnson finished him off at the 4-yard line. Pickup of 3 on first down will bring up 2nd and goal.
This is the time you really see the Miami offensive line starting to take a toll on the Rattlers defensive front. Miami outweighs the FAMU defensive front a little bit, and they outsize them a little bit up front with the first 5 or 6 people up on the offensive line. So FAMU right now with their backs to the wall, desperately trying to keep Miami out of the end zone.
Miami with the 1 wide receiver in, Andre King. He's to the top of the screen. The give to Jackson. Jackson trying to bounce outside, picks up a yard or 2. Darnell Vickers there to make the tackle. And again, Corey Johnson in on the tail end. It'll bring up 3rd and goal, and that might be the last play of the first quarter. The clock at 23 seconds and moving here at the Orange Bowl.
It doesn't look like Miami's in a big hurry to call this play on 3rd down. Kenny Kelly walking to the sidelines, going to talk to Butch Davis and the offensive staff, see what they want to do on 3rd down. A very important play for Miami early in the game.
And Miami indeed will let the first quarter clock run out, 5 seconds and counting. And the Hurricanes will exit this first quarter with a 14-3 lead. And the first quarter is history here at the Orange Bowl at the end of 1. It's Miami 14 and threatening, Florida A&M 3. You're watching Big East football on ESPN+. Go! Back at the Orange Bowl, second quarter action. It's Miami 14 and Florida A&M 3. When we return to play, Miami will have a 3rd and goal at the Florida A&M 2-yard line. And John, one thing Miami has done now, they've been able to keep the ball away from the FAMU offense with the help of that turnover on the last kickoff. And when FAMU gets back on the field, we'll see who will be at quarterback. Quinn Gray went off injured, and we don't know his status as of yet. We're trying to get an update on that. For the moment, it is Miami with a 3rd and goal. Double tight end, Jackson the lone running back. Kelly, fade pattern, end zone, Wayne, caught it, inbounds, touchdown Miami. Reggie Wayne's first touchdown of the year. And we had a late flag on the far side in the end zone. My guess is this would go against the defense being away from the football. And I mean totally away from the football.
It looked like, Frank, it was to the right side, and it was an alignment. I believe somebody lined up in the neutral zone, a corner on the other side of the play. But a nice job by Reggie Wayne backpedaling into the end zone. Kenny Kelly did a nice job of putting enough air under the football for Reggie Wayne to adjust to it, and then he goes up and grabs it, keeps a foot in bounds, touchdown for the Hurricanes.
Reggie Wayne's first touchdown of the year as he beat Darnell Vickers. All right, illegal receiver downfield. Kind of a strange call to get on a fade pattern.
Well, it looked like they gave an indication, first of all, and they called it against Florida A&M, and now they're bringing the Miami offensive team back onto the football field. Obviously, they talked about it, and they decided the penalty was on Miami.
Flag was thrown by the official in the far corner of the end zone. Threw it right on that Miami helmet up in your top left corner. My question is, what would an offensive lineman be doing that downfield on a play from the 2-yard line where it's a fade pattern call?
Well, Kenny took one step and threw the football. That offensive lineman must be awful fast.
I'll tell you what, he started entering him in the 60-yard dash indoors. All right, so we're going to replay it. It's a do-over. 3rd now and goal from the 8. Pitch to Jackson, short side sweep, has some blocking. Jackson corner, touchdown. So the Hurricanes said, take your penalty flag and put it you know where.
Yeah,
we're going to score anyway.
They get the touchdown on the short side of the football field. That looked like a student body right to the short side. Nothing but orange shirts out in front of James Jackson. He had all the big hogs out in front of him. Martin Bibla, Gonzalez, and Ty Wise to the right side, along with Daniel Franks. They lead him into the end zone for the Hurricane touchdown.
So it took an extra play, but the Hurricanes do put their 3rd touchdown of the board on the night. And Andy Crossland in to attempt the conversion out of Jeff Popovich's hold. Snap is good, hold is good. Crossland's kick is up and through. And with 14:48 to go second quarter, it's Miami now 21, Florida A&M 3. We'll be back with the Hurricane pickoff. You're watching Big East football from ESPN+. Back at the Orange Bowl, 14:48 to go second quarter, and Miami has just taken a 21-3 lead over the Florida A&M Rattlers. The scoring drive for Miami, sixth place, covering 22 yards after a fumble recovery. 3 minutes and 11 seconds elapsed off the clock, and James Jackson gets his second touchdown of the night on a 7-yard run. Andy Crossland will kick it off for the Canes. Demetris Bendros and Travian Turner standing back inside the 5-yard line for the Rattlers. Frank Fort and John Kajemi with you. Beth Mowens on the sideline. We'll be checking in with Beth in just a moment, right after the Hurricane kickoff. Crossland high and fairly deep. Bendros at the 1. Trying to go to the outside. Bendros shoved out of bounds by Howard Clark at about the 17-yard line. Let's go down to the sidelines and Beth Mowens. Beth?
Thank you very much, Frank. We had a chance to talk briefly with the trainer for Florida A&M. And the quarterback, Quinn Gray, was hit in the stomach on that hit by Ed Reed, and he will not be back apparently for this set of downs. They took him back into the locker room to take a closer look, so Gray will not be out at quarterback. Jackson will come in on relief here on this set of downs. Frank?
Jorad Jackson, number 13, is the quarterback. We were led to believe Jawan Sider would be the number 2 guy, but it is Jorad Jackson, number 13, into the ball game, and FAMU will operate out of the 4 wide receiver formation. And again, what that forces Miami to do is take Dan Morgan and Michael Smith out of the ball game.
Yeah, and actually for the first time, Frank, as you mentioned Dan Morgan, we finally see him back into the football game, actually playing defensive end instead of linebacker. So a position that they do use Dan Morgan in on third down situations, but now it's 1st and 10.
They used that against Ohio State last week. They used him as a rush in. Out of the shotgun. Jackson still has it. The lefty throwing it deep down the seam and well overthrown in Miami territory. Pass was intended for Keenan Lamb, number 4. We'll bring up 2nd and long for the Rattlers. 14:32 left to go second quarter, and Miami seemingly has taken control of the ball game at 21-3, and with FAMU's starting quarterback now out of the game.
Well, it's a tough situation for FAMU's offense. They came in with a no-huddle offense, and really you need your trigger man to make that effective. And right now you're going back to maybe your 2nd or 3rd team quarterback. A bad situation for FAMU's offense.
Kenneth Williams is the lone running back.
Okay. All right, then I'll see you then.
Jorad Jackson pulling a check off, and he brought Lamb into the backfield. Miami showing blitz. And as a false start by the left guard of the FAMU Rattlers, that'll cost him 5.
You get different cadence from a different quarterback, Frank, when you come in off the bench, and really sometimes the offensive linemen aren't familiar with it, and they're used to hearing one cadence and one count. Quinn Gray out of the football game. Now you bring in another quarterback, Jackson, who may call it differently and really pull your own men off sides.
Jorad Jackson, 6'5", 195, a junior out of Monsignor Pace High School in Miami. So yet another local kid. And it'll bring up 2nd now and 15 after the false start penalty. Again, Miami crowding the line of scrimmage. And they come on the blitz, and down goes Jackson. Nick Ward in the game as part of the dime package, picks up his first career sack.
Untouched, not enough people in to block the blitz. And that time FAMU gets caught from the short side. Number 3, as you said, Nick Ward comes in untouched and really lays a licking on the quarterback, Jackson.
All the way back to the FAMU 3-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 24, a loss of 8.
Miami really getting the in sync on defense, Frank. They stop FAMU on 1st and 2nd down and really force the hand of what they want to do defensively.
Again out of the shotgun, Jackson under pressure overthrows his man at the 5-yard line. He was going for Jacque Nunnally, and now FAMU will be forced to punt from their own end zone.
Yeah,
and again, good pressure, John.
Great pressure. That's what Miami's defense has done the last 2 or 3 series. They've started it up front, causing FAMU to misfire on 1st down, misfire on 2nd down, and really give credit to that defensive front. They've put pressure on the quarterbacks, Jackson and Gray, respectively, and FAMU has really not looked as good or not as sharp as they did on the opening series.
And also credit Greg Schiano and his defensive staff with some nice adjustments after FAMU's first possession. FAMU looks like they have an extra man on the field, and Kenneth Williams trying to run off, but that is an illegal substitution type of penalty as the referee throws the flag, and it'll cost them only 1.5 yards.
Yeah,
half the distance, but it backs T.J. Smith up all the way to the end line.
T.J. can't go back another inch, he'll be out of bounds.
This is an unusual punt formation for FAMU because they've got, instead of the normal one flyer out on each side of the formation, they've got two guys spread out on each side from the formation.
It almost looks like their offensive set without the quarterback.
Santana Moss back to receive for Miami, standing inside the FAMU 40-yard line. TJ Smith up against the end line. Boucher McIntosh will snap it. Smith gets it away. Miami has the return on. Pretty good kick. Moss at the 37. Taking it right back up the middle. Moss trying to get to the outside, stays on his feet. Santana Moss down the sideline, and Santana Moss finally run out at the 5-yard line of Florida A&M. Corey Johnson finally pushed him out at the 4.
Santana Moss is better than people think, and his speed, you take a look at his size and you don't think he's that fast, but he makes the first person miss and he gets 1 inch to the wall. He could go the distance. Just a great athletic play by Santana Moss. Takes a lot of courage, Frank, to stay in there, catch the football with people coming down, and then make a play. Santana brings it all the way down to the 4-yard line.
That's where Miami starts 1st and 10 with 13:35 to go second quarter, already leading 21-3. Jackson, the running back, gets the pitch. Jackson behind McPartland, down close to the goal line, and just failed to get in by about a half a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and goal. Greg Ray, the outside linebacker, pushed him out.
Miami twice now inside the 5- and 6-yard line. They've gone to the toss to the short side with a lot of success. That time, James Jackson trying to get into the end zone. Goes to the 1, as you said, Frank, really the half-yard line, but James Jackson doing a nice job using his explosiveness to the outside.
And Will McPartland, number 35, the former walk-on fullback, doing a nice job blocking so far tonight. Miami with 3 tight ends now in the ball game, and McPartland in the backfield along with Jackson. Fulcher in motion. Jackson with the handoff. Jackson tripped up and knocked down short of the goal line. Good penetration by Richard Brooks, number 28. And then Ray kept him out of the end zone. But Brooks' penetration grabbed Jackson around the ankles and wouldn't let him leap over the top.
Yeah, Kenny Kelly, in this situation last week against Ohio State, he looks like he's motioning to the sideline. He wants to run the same play. Now they're going to call a timeout and talk about it. But Kenny wants to keep the football on the outside. And I'm sure he's going to tell Butch Davis and the offensive staff about it.
Well, Miami's showing various personnel groups and various formations. We'll see what they do on 3rd and goal from the 1 when we come back here at the Orange Bowl. You're watching Big East football from ESPN+. 13:05 left to go second quarter at the Orange Bowl. Miami leading 21-3, and FAMU holding off Miami on the last play as James Jackson tried to get in from the 1-yard line, but some good penetration by Florida A&M's defense kept him out. Specifically, Richard Brooks, the backup safety, another Miamian out of Northwestern, I should say. And in fact, a lot of members of the Bulls football team are here in attendance in the West End Zone tonight. 3rd and goal for Miami from a yard out. Everybody in tight on the formation. James Jackson, and dragged down from behind. Grover Fields, number 35, with an outstanding play. John, I think that's a situation where you might have liked to see a little play action with all the tight ends in the game.
Well, just move Kenny Kelly maybe around the pocket. That was a nice job by Fields tracking down James Jackson from behind. You don't see that happen too often. Credit the FAMU defensive front. There wasn't really any running room between the tackles. James Jackson trying to bounce it outside, but he didn't have much success.
Well, here's a chance for Andy Crossland to get a little work in on an area he was very weak in last week. He kicked from the right hash mark from inside 30 yards. Popovich will put it down at the 12. This is a 22-yard field goal try. Popovich gets it down, and Crossland knocks it through. So that'll do something for Andy Crossland's mental health. And Miami now with a 24-3 lead over Florida A&M. Let's go down to the sidelines now and Beth Mowins. Beth?
Well, thanks a lot, Frank. Another big boost for Miami is here with me, Najee Davenport. Unfortunately for the Canes, tore your ACL on Sunday, but Najee, your spirits are up, and you've already been in rehab in the training room, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been I was in the hospital. I had surgery on Monday, and I stayed until Wednesday. Wednesday, I was released at 9:30, and I got to the training room about 9:50, and I just started rehab. You know, I was doing my first leg raise came, I say Thursday morning, and now there's a big step for me doing the leg raise. I'm just constantly doing leg raises and quad sets, trying to get my muscle, my quad to come back. That's like, I want to come. They said I'm out for 6 months, and I want to see can I come back early, sooner. I'm not expecting to play, but I just want to get on my feet, you know.
All right, well, best of luck with you on your rehab.
All right, thank you.
Najee Davenport down here giving support to the Canes, Frank.
Thanks, Beth, and that is a big loss for the Miami Hurricanes. Certainly not tonight, but you look at Penn State and Florida State, games like that, that's a big weapon that the Canes are going to be missing because, John, there's very few guys in America that have his combination of speed and power at the running back position.
Well, it's such a great changeup for Miami that they had even last year when you look at Edgerrin James, the #1 draft pick that went to Indianapolis. You had James Jackson and Najee Davenport backing him up when he was tired. Now, this year you had James Jackson and Najee. What a great 1-2 punch. Hopefully Najee can come back from that leg injury because he's a force when he's out on the football field.
Bendross at the goal line, fakes the reverse. Heading for the near sideline. Not a lot of running room. Fumbled it away again. It's loose at the 11. We'll see who came up with it. The officials will unpile it, and FAMU indicating that they have the football, and indeed they do. But again, dodging a bullet.
That ball's stubborn when Bendross has the ball in his hands on special teams because it won't stay with him. He makes 1 or 2 great moves, and it's always a spin move. It seems like somebody got a hand in and stripped the football on the UM special teams, but a nice play for FAMU to get back on the football.
Vladimir Scherferer making the recovery for FAMU. They have it 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. 3 wide receivers and now 2 running backs in the backfield, Travis Williams and Kenneth Williams. Jarrad Jackson, the quarterback. Gives it to Travis Williams, and he will go nowhere. Dan Morgan making the tackle for Miami, possibly a pickup of a yard.
Yeah, nice job. We finally get to mention Dan Morgan's name in this football game. He's been out on the sidelines most of the game. I'm not sure if he's working up a lather yet tonight, but a nice job, a nice game on the inside run pursuit by Dan Morgan. Looked like he guessed right because he ran right into the running back from FAMU.
2nd and 9 for FAMU. Again, 3 wideouts and 2 backs alongside Jarrad Jackson. Looked like Michael Burrow came across early, and he did. They'll stop the play. Not sure if he was drawn off or he just mistimed the snap. But what Miami has done, John, to counteract FAMU's wide receiver sets where Morgan and Mike Smith have to leave the game is they're going with 3 defensive linemen and leaving Dan Morgan in along with Nate Webster.
Yeah, I like that setup a little bit more because it allows you to use your speed from the linebacker position and actually move it up to the defensive line. And I think FAMU right now, they've been going no huddle. It looks like the linemen are dragging a little bit, and Miami can really capitalize by using their fresh linebackers on the defensive front.
5-yard penalty against the Hurricanes makes it 2nd and 4 from the FAMU 17-yard line. Still out of the shotgun, Jackson. Pass too high and off the fingertips of Keenan Lamb. Jeff Popovich was in the passing lane, and Nate Webster with a very nice drop out of his linebacker spot was also in the area. And that'll bring up 3rd and 4 for the Rattlers. The last UM back, by the way, to go over 100 yards in 1 half was Edgerrin James last year against UCLA. He had 173. James Jackson already at the century mark tonight. 3rd and 4 Rattlers with 11:21 left to go, 2nd quarter. Miami up 24-3. Jackson steps up under center and takes a straight drop. Now rolls slightly, and his pass is overthrown for Kenneth Williams, and that was just, John, to put it kindly, it was just plain ugly.
That was the shot put, Frank, and I don't want it. Maybe you'll take it because it looks like I'm going to get hit. And you hear some rumblings in that west end zone. I don't think the FAMU following like the throw either, but the worst thing that could have happened didn't. It wasn't picked off. No turnover, and the special teams come on for FAMU.
TJ Smith will stand inside his own 5-yard line for 1 more punt, and Santana Moss at midfield to receive for the Hurricanes. Big Boucher McIntosh will snap it back, and boy, he is a house. And the Canes got a piece of it. It'll take a bit of a FAMU roll up to the 42-yard line of Florida A&M, but it appeared that Maurice Sykes, number 36, or Nick Ward, number 3, one of those 2 guys got a piece of it.
Yeah, it looked like 2 or 3 players. Also, Aaron Mosier was in on the special teams play, but one of those guys, or 2 of them, possibly got a hand on it. Nice play by the special teams for the University of Miami Hurricanes.
Well, they've come close twice before tonight, and that one they got a piece of. And it sets Miami up at the 42-yard line of Florida A&M.
Frank, look for the big play on first down. It's a great time to go deep, especially down here. It looks like a man-to-man coverage on Santana Moss.
First and 10 Canes at the FAMU 42. Kelly. Deep down the right sideline for Reggie Wayne, and nearly intercepted again by Aaron Gray. Almost had his second pick of the night. A little too much air under that one, John?
Well, Kenny Kelly had a choice, Frank, and the free safety was favoring up top where Reggie Wayne was. That's why I thought he might go downtown, down the left-hand side of the football field where he had single coverage from Santana Moss, but I'm not the guy calling the shots. He's got a better view of it from where he's at, and he decided to go to the right side, maybe just a little bit more air on the football.
Ivan Mercer, number 86, a junior college transfer, in a tight end for Miami, as the Canes have it 2nd and 10 at the FAMU 42. Fulcher and Jackson, the running backs, behind Kenny Kelly. Kelly, quick drop. Good pass to Santana Moss to the 20 and slips down at the 16-yard line, but that is plenty for a Miami first down.
Santana is having one heck of a night at the wide receiver position. That time, Kenny Kelly decided, I'm going to let this one loose, and he fired it right into number 6 on the quick slant. Watch the patience that Kenny Kelly has. He waits for Santana to get into the open area, and he clears the linebackers. Just a nice job and nice patience on the quarterback position that time.
26 yards on the gain to Santana Moss, whose average per catch this year is well over 20 yards. First and 10 Miami. Inside the FAMU 20. Kelly fakes to Jackson. Going to the corner to Reggie Wayne, overthrew him. Penalty flag thrown on Vernon Mitchell, it appears.
Yeah, a lot of action, a lot of contact up on top. You called it, Frank, the senior defensive back for the Rattlers, Vernon Mitchell. A lot of contact with Reggie Wayne, and he'll get flagged for the hold.
Defensive holding is the indication. And Miami will get 5 yards out of it. And the automatic first. 10:26 left to go second quarter. Hurricanes leading at 24-3 here at the Orange Bowl. Frank Fort, John Conjemi, and Beth Mowens with you. And here's the call from our official, Dennis Henninger.
Holding on the defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Change that to a half the distance penalty on the defensive hold, and that'll place it at the FAMU 8-yard line, where Miami will have it first and goal. It is an automatic first down.
Frank, wouldn't be surprised if Miami uses Kenny Kelly out on the edge in this possession, because the Rattlers have been really trying to stuff the run of James Jackson inside the 10-yard line.
Miami with their number 1 offensive line still in the football game. On first and goal. Kelly feeling pressure from the backside, lofts it for Bubba Franks, and incomplete. Good coverage by Vernon Mitchell in the end zone. Mitchell, a 6-foot, 200-pound senior from Miami Central High School. You go through this FAMU roster, and it looks like a Dade County All-Star game.
Yeah, it sure does. Predominantly from Northwestern as well, too. A lot of
Northwestern, a lot of Killian, Coral Gables, Norland.
I think the one thing Kenny Kelly has to remember, once he crosses that 20-yard line, everything happens quicker in the red zone or the scoring zone, and that play really looked a little bit lethargic in getting going.
Standard personnel group for the Canes, 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs. Second and goal from the 8. Kelly moving out of the pocket. Kelly finds Jackson, complete down at the 3-yard line, and Jackson took a pretty good lick from Grover Fields. It's a pickup of 5. It'll bring 3rd and goal from the 3.
Yeah, that'll shake some fillings loose, Frank. Grover Fields comes in and lays the leather. It looked like to number 21, James Jackson. Kenny Kelly made a nice play out of nothing, trying to scramble, going to his right and finding James Jackson, making a positive play out of really nothing.
A lot of times people think Kenny Kelly is a running quarterback, and he really is not. He'll take off and go if he has to, but he prefers to throw the football.
And he does a good job. He's very proficient at doing it.
3rd and goal for the Hurricanes. Triple tight end formation. Fake to Jackson.
Been waiting for.
Got Bubba Franks wide open. Touchdown for the big guy. Bubba Franks Number 88, the double snowman, picks up his first touchdown of the season.
Big play, Frank. That's where you use your athletic ability, and you've been trying to run number 21, James Jackson, between the tackles on sweeps to the short side. That time it was very easy. Kenny Kelly probably could have done 2 or 3 things, run it in, throw it to someone else, but he picks out number 88, Bubba Franks, who gets into the end zone to make the score 30-3 Canes.
That's the play I was talking about on the last possession on the 3rd and goal with the triple tight end in there. First touchdown of the year for Bubba Franks. Andy Crossland in to try the conversion. Out of the Jeff Popovich hold, it is up and good. And with 9:29 left to go in the second quarter, Miami has jumped out to a 31-3 lead over visiting Florida A&M. It's 31-3 Canes. You're watching Big East football from ESPN+.
This is an ordinary cell phone. This is Nextel, and it's going to change the way you do business thanks to Direct Connect, its digital two-way radio feature. Frank, you see it?
Not yet.
It ensures instant contact. Bridget.
Got it.
Cost a fraction of cellular.
It just passed.
And it makes other cell phones
Ready now.
obsolete.
Direct Connect from Nextel. How business gets done.
If your Bronco's bucking, head to Discount Auto Parts. With our huge inventory of car and truck parts, we'll have you back in the saddle in no time. Discount Auto Parts, the place to start when you need parts. A reminder from Discount Auto Parts, with thousands of car and truck parts and lots of convenient locations, we can help make your Cutlass supreme again. Discount Auto Parts, the place to start when you need parts.
Get into your Mazda dealer's Zero In on Savings Closeout event. For low 0% financing on every 99 Mazda. There's never been a better time to save, so hurry in. Get 0% financing on every Mazda 626 or choose $2,000 cash back during Mazda's Zero In on Savings Closeout event.
Back at the Orange Bowl, it's Miami leading Florida A&M 31-3 as Miami has put 17 points on the board here in the second quarter, which still has 9:29 left to play. Miami coming up with the block punt. And there is Miami with the block of 31 kicks in 47 games under Butch Davis.
Wow, that's impressive.
That certainly comes in handy because it gives you the short field, it creates momentum. And I'll tell you what, John, one of the other best teams in the country, in fact, maybe the best team is Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And we're all looking forward to that game up in Blacksburg this year. That may decide the Big East title when those two teams hook up. But for now, Miami still with some work to do tonight, although they do lead it 31-3. Andy Crossland will kick it off again. Travian Turner back to receive. Along with Troy Hart, that's Turner. And he's going to try and bring it out. Turner to the 10, trying to get to the corner. James Scott in pursuit, cannot get him, and finally Turner run out at the 30-yard line, right into the Miami bench. Let's take a look at the ESPN USA Today Top 25 scoreboard. Tennessee with an 11-point lead over the visiting Cowboys of Wyoming. At halftime, Florida and Western Michigan's got 20 points against the Gator defense. That's not going to make Steve Spurrier very happy. Texas A&M and Louisiana Tech delayed by weather. Boy, Louisiana Tech, do they play a killer schedule or what?
They've got some people on the schedule.
Boston College, as Baylor missed an extra point in the overtime, BC wins by a point. First and 10 FAMU from their 29. Jarrad Jackson out of the shotgun.
Gone.
To the near side, nearly intercepted by Leonard Myers. And John, you called it. He had an easy 6 points.
Leonard, he's used to catching passes from Quinn Gray at practice in high school. And this time he drops one right in the breadbasket. Jackson threw a late on and out route, and Leonard Myers had a great break. All he could see was the helmet from UM in the end zone, and he drops the football.
Leonard's second pass breakup of the night, and he could easily have 2 interceptions. And well, it doesn't get much easier to catch a ball than that, but Leonard, I guess, took his eye off it. On 2nd and 10. Miami crowding the line of scrimmage. And here they come. Cannot get it off, and Jackson goes down as Edward Reed with the sack, his second of the season, as the strong safety out of Mount St. Rose, Louisiana, comes up with the play.
We talked about it, Frank, when the change of quarterback occurred. The defensive pressure from the Miami Hurricane defensive front stepped up, and it allowed the secondary and linebackers to come in and blitz and really pressure the new quarterback that came into the football game, Jackson, and he hasn't been able to pull the trigger. When he does, he's been incomplete, and otherwise it's been sacks.
4 wide receivers in the ball game for FAMU. Kenneth Williams, the running back, alongside Jarrad Jackson. Again, Miami crowds the line of scrimmage. Webster and Morgan both come on blitzes, as does Popovich. Complete to Nunnally, but Nunnally won't get much as James Lewis holds it to about a 4 or 5 yard gain, and that'll bring up 4th down. Well, what Miami's doing now is forcing Jackson to make decisions way before he's ready.
Well, they're putting pressure right in his face, and they don't have enough people to block, Frank. He's going to his hot reads, and he's not as proficient a thrower as Quinn Gray was earlier in the football game, and it's really slowing down this Rattler offense.
TJ Smith in once again to punt, and Santana Moss standing at the Miami 44. Miami got a piece of 1 punt already tonight. Clock moving, 7:48 left to go, second quarter. Hurricanes lead at 31-3. And Miami went after it, and Aaron Mosier just missed a good kick from Smith. Bounces at the Miami 40 and will roll out of bounds. Well, not quite. Stays in at the 37. And that's where Miami will take over 1st and 10 with 7:32 left to go, second quarter. And coming into the ball game at quarterback, his first action as a Miami Hurricane is Ken Dorsey, a true freshman out of Orinda, California. Let's quick. Butch Davis talking to Mike Rumpf, his defensive back, about the possible punt block. But a look at Ken Dorsey, 6'5", but a slim 180 pounds. The true freshman out of Orinda, California. Reminds me a lot of Scott Covington. When Scott came in, he was kind of a skinny, tall kid, and he put on a bunch of weight by the time he left here, and I have a feeling Ken Dorsey will do the same. He's got a lot of room to put weight on that 6'5" frame. Also in the ball game, Clinton Portis, his first action at tailback. This is Portis with the football. Stumbles, got away, keeps his feet, and gets a couple of yards out of a play where there really wasn't much there.
No, and you can tell the difference at the running back position. You see, you get the 2 freshmen in Ken Dorsey and Clinton Portis. When you watch James Jackson, the veteran, the junior, he has a little bit more patience in hitting the hole. That time, Clinton Portis, give me the ball. I want to get through the line and score. You know, as soon as he touches the football, he'll learn that, but a good aggressive run on first down.
Pickup of 2. 2nd and 8 for Ken Dorsey in the Miami offense as we reach the 7-minute mark here in the second quarter. Pitch to Portis. Portis tries to get to the outside, hit hard, and bounce back at the 44-yard line. Again, Richard Brooks, Greg Ray, and Grover Fields all there for FAMU. Pickup of about a half yard. It'll bring up 3rd and long. Well, Clint Portis, welcome to college football.
welcome to the Orange Bowl, and take this with you. Well, a couple of my friends come up and pile on, but that was a nice aggressive run to the outside, but did a good job of securing the football. He did take quite a pop.
Well, maybe that'll get the butterflies out. 3rd and 8 for the Canes. Will this be Ken Dorsey's first pass? No, a draw play, Portis. Portis up near the 45-yard line. He'll be about 2 yards shy of a first down. Greg Ray, number 48, the outside linebacker, making the play, and Miami will be forced to punt for the 2nd time tonight. A very conservative series for Ken Dorsey in his first action as a Miami Hurricane.
No fumbled snaps, no fumbles on the tough hits. They did a good job in their first action as Cane players.
Crossland into punt. Travian Turner, number 21, back at his 15-yard line to receive the kick. Crossland end over end. Turner bobbled it. Loose football. Loose inside the 5. And it's a Miami touchdown.
Popovich,
they're going to mark him down at the 1. Jeff Popovich, it was a muff punt, and Popovich picked it up at the 1, and that's where they're going to call it down.
Well, I don't know. It looked like he got into the end zone, and Jeff is pleading his case with the official on about the 1-yard line. And any result, a great special teams play by Miami, and FAMU is having a tough time holding on to the football on their special teams. You see right here, the ball is bobbled right there. A nice aggressive play by the Miami special teams. Now Rod Max going, I got to get out of the way, Jeff. He clearly looked like he got in the end zone. I don't know if you can advance that, but he was clearly into the end zone, Frank.
Well, Miami will have it at FAMU's 1-yard line as we look at Jeff Popovich, the senior out of Tucson, Arizona. And now timeout being signaled. It appeared as if Kenny Kelly was going to go back into the game at quarterback, but Ken Dorsey's going to get some action. Might as well put him on the 1 yard line. We're going to take a timeout. There's 6 minutes left to go second quarter. Miami leading Florida A&M by 31-3. You're watching Big East football from ESPN+.
What if ketchup was already inside the bun?
6 minutes exactly remaining second quarter. Miami with a 31-3 lead and threatening to score more after the muff punt. Miami has it at the Florida A&M 1 yard line. Kenny Kelly is back in the game at quarterback. Clinton Portis remains in as the tailback. And we'll see if Clinton might get his first collegiate touchdown. Triple tight end for Miami. Will McPartland the fullback. That's McPartland in motion. And the give to Portis. Clinton Portis, goal line, touchdown, Hurricanes. First collegiate touchdown, and hopefully the first of many for Clinton Portis, the true freshman from Gainesville High School.
Yeah, a really excited freshman running back in Clinton Portis. He goes off right tackle, just put his head down and kept those legs going, followed his mooses up front for the Hurricane touchdown.
Clinton Portis had 2,036 yards last year as a high school senior and 26 touchdowns, so he is not unfamiliar with the end zone. Getting a hug from Don Solinger, the running backs coach. And Andy Crossland will try yet another extra point. This one up again and good again. And with 5:56 left to go in the second quarter, Miami has now jumped out to a 38-3 lead over FAMU. And remember, FAMU at one point had a 3-0 lead in this game. Here is the play that set up the touchdown. The muff by Travian Turner. And then the loose football. And my best understanding of the rules is you're not allowed to advance the muff. So wherever Popovich picked it up, and he was just short of the goal line, that's where the officials marked it down.
Right.
Here's another look at the Clint Portis touchdown.
And then it was easy for the Miami Hurricane offense. They just got a great offensive line surge. You see Ty Wise there. Also number 65, Martin Bibla, going straight ahead. And the freshman running back, Clinton Portis, is in for his first Hurricane touchdown.
Well, a nice moment for Clinton Portis. And Don Solinger, the running back coach for the Miami Hurricanes, says, this kid is going to be a human highlight film. That's the way he was in high school. He's a slasher. He's not big. He's about 5'11", 180, but he's got some wiggle to him, and the Canes are excited about what he might do in the future. However, the future sometime, at least part of the time, is now, because James Jackson cannot carry the entire workload throughout the rest of this season with Najee Davenport out. So Clint Portis is going to get work this year, and he's going to get acclimated to Division I football very, very quickly. And we'll see if Jarrett Payton gets some action in the second half, the son of Walter Payton, and hopefully at some point in time we'll stop saying with him as a freshman, but he has said quite clearly, I'm proud to be Walter's son, but I want to be my own guy, my own player, and he certainly has the athletic ability to do it. The only thing he lacks is football experience. The pooch kickoff and a fair catch called and made at the 27-yard line, and that's where Florida A&M will start 1st and 10 as the kick handled by Antoine Brooks, a backup linebacker. So the Rattlers will have it 1st and 10, ball sitting just outside their 27-yard line. 38-3 Miami. Frank Fort, John Kangemi, and Beth Mowens with you from the Orange Bowl. Kind of a muggy night. And so far the Rattlers are getting mugged here in the Orange Bowl. If you look at the scoreboard, they lost their starting quarterback, Quinn Gray, for the rest of the night. Jarrad Jackson is now in the football game, and they go out of the I formation. Travis Williams with the handoff, and he'll pick up about 3 or 4. Rod Mack in on the tackle, number 51 for the Hurricanes. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st down. Bring up 2nd and 6 for FAMU.
And Frank, this night started so promising for the FAMU offense. They came out in that spread offense, no huddle, and Quentin Gray was just throwing the football at will. And then the Miami defense really put a licking on him. Edward Reed knocked him out of the football game, and it's been downhill ever since.
All Williams backfield, fumbled snap, and somehow Jarrad Jackson got it to Travis Williams, and Michael Barreau put the smackdown on him.
That ball's got to stop bouncing around when FAMU has it on offense. It seemed like nobody wants to put a handle on it. Bad exchange, it looked like, from center to quarterback, and Jackson, as you said, went to the ground and tried to pitch it from the ground, but they called him down.
That'll bring up 3rd and nearly 10 for the Rattlers. Travis Williams is saying, what are you giving it to me for?
I don't want it. You're already down, right? There's a host of orange coming at me.
And FAMU right now has abandoned the 4 wideout set. They're in the standard pro I. Travis Williams with the handoff. Damian Lewis hit him, and Jeff Popovich wraps him up. And pretty much no gain on the play. It'll bring up a punting situation again for FAMU. Good run support there by Jeff Popovich, the dime back. John Pops really turned himself into a good football player. He came here as a walk-on quarterback, and he's turned himself into a serviceable defensive back.
Just a solid player. You can depend on him on special teams, and I think that's where Butch Davis is looking for Pop to make the biggest impact on this football team as a backup in the secondary, but primarily on special teams, as we saw on the fumble recovery.
FAMU lines up to punt in, again, a very strange formation with 4 guys spread out wide, and they call a timeout, and I'm not sure they had the right personnel on the field. There's 4 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the first half. Florida A&M facing a punting situation, and we'll see if indeed they do kick it away, if the Hurricanes will bring Kenny Dorsey back into the ball game.
Well, it's a great opportunity, Frank, for the University of Miami to really clear the bench in the second half and the remainder of the second quarter with 4:04 left to go before halftime, to get a look at some of these young kids and put them in situations of run stop and put them in situations to run the football, because in 2 weeks they have that big test when Penn State, the Nittany Lions, come into town and play in the Orange Bowl.
And Penn State won today 70-24 over Akron. So the Nittany Lions have piled up 111 points in their first 2 ball games. They'll be here 2 weeks from today in the Orange Bowl, and that should be a good one. TJ Smith is the FAMU punter as you get a look at the Marching 100, the famed Florida A&M marching band. They'll be performing here at halftime, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you some of that at least at halftime.
Frank, I've seen you in the booth. I think you would have had enough rhythm to be in that band had you been able to play an instrument, huh?
I've got rhythm, but I don't know if I can play a musical instrument. Ethnic Sands, the redshirt freshman, former high school quarterback from Carroll City, is in to return the punt from TJ Smith. And this will be Ethnic's first action as a Miami Hurricane. Smith just did get it away. Good kick. Drives Sands back to the 36 of Miami. Sands trying to turn the corner and hops out of bounds at the 45-yard line, where the Hurricanes will take over 1st and 10.
Ethnic Sands was a great high school quarterback. Won a state championship down in Miami. Does a nice job fielding the punt and getting out of bounds.
Canes take over at their 45-yard line. Jarrett Payton now in at running back, number 32. And Ken Dorsey is indeed the quarterback. Jarrett Payton, as I call him, son of sweetness.
That's right.
The legendary Walter Payton. And Jarrett Payton, despite his father's liver disease, which will need a transplant, honored his commitment to come to the University of Miami and be, half a country away from his father. But he said, hey, I made the commitment to come here. This is where I want to play football, and I can get back home if I need to. On 1st and 10. Ken Dorsey's first pass, complete, and then dropped, and it is a fumble. Now we're calling it incomplete. The line judge on the near side called it incomplete as Ivan Mercer could not find the handle. Mercer, number 86, the big junior college transfer, 6'7". But you got to catch the football.
Mercer took a heck of a shot. And you take a look at Payton in the backfield. Jarrett Payton in high school, you see rushing over 1,300 yards and passing he had over 1,000 yards.
That's because he was a high school quarterback most of the time.
Most of the time, right.
He did play some tailback. He did play some defensive back. Only 2 years of football experience. This is Payton's first carry, and he's going to get 4. Wendell Ashley, the outside linebacker, a senior out of Miami's Northwestern High School, makes the tackle. And Jarrett Payton getting a hand after his first collegiate carry. Bring up 3rd and 6 for the Hurricanes. I'll tell you one thing. He only has 2 years of football experience, but he walks on that field and you go,
wow.
Wow, he looks every bit the
right.
athlete. He is really put together. He's about 6'1", 205, and he looks every bit the athlete. Miami with 3 wide receivers in the formation. McPartland, the only running back. Dorsey will put it up. Pressure coming from Bird. Dorsey running out of the pocket, fires down the middle and incomplete, looking for Ethnic Sands. Well, Dorsey showing a little bit of mobility, but he is 0 for 2 in his first collegiate game, and the Hurricanes will have to kick it away. Good chance with a 38-3 lead to get some of these freshmen, redshirt freshmen and true freshmen, some playing experience, because you've got now, John, true freshmen in significant backup roles at the quarterback and the tailback positions.
Yeah, Butch Davis wants to see these guys on tape so they can see themselves so they can improve. It's different from practice to a game, and it's a great teaching tool for the coaches.
Jacque Nunnally back to receive the kick, standing at the FAMU 10-yard line. Popovich, plenty of time, hangs it high. Nice looking kick. Fair catch signaled and made by Nunnally back at the 5-yard line. So FAMU still losing the battle of field position as they have all night. And that's where they'll take over 1st and 10. And we'll see if the Rattlers can put together some sort of offensive continuity. They haven't done that since their very first possession of the game.
Yeah, and right now it doesn't look like they've been trying to throw the football. They've gone out of that 4 or 5 wide receiver set, and they're trying to run the football, but ineffective at either.
Kanan Lamb and Demetris Bendros are the wide receivers. Kenneth Williams and Travis Williams are in the football game as the running backs. On 1st down, Travis Williams cuts back at the 5 and runs into some stiff resistance. Matt Walters, number 91 at the bottom of the pile, and James Lewis, number 23 at the top, and it's no gain.
Yeah, it's good to see James Lewis come up from that secondary position, because the injury to Al Blades against Ohio State looked like I believe he broke a bone in his arm or his wrist, Frank. And it's good to see James Lewis come in, because he's going to have to play a predominant role if Al Blades is limited in his action.
2:25 left to go 2nd quarter, and the clock running. 2nd and 10 for the Rattlers as they go in the standardized set. Cannon White in the game as the tight end. Jackson from his end zone. Jackson dancing around. He'll run out of the pocket, and William Joseph drags him down at the 10-yard line. Give Jackson credit for 3 yards. As he ran out of the pocket, it'll bring up 3rd and long with 1:55 to go. William Joseph, the redshirt freshman out of Miami Edison High School, and quite a physical specimen. Miami coaches think he's going to be a great player someday.
Yeah, did a nice job in the opening game. Had 2 tackles against Ohio State, but really looking for him at 6'5", 275 to put some pressure on the edge of opposing quarterbacks, just to let him know where he's lining up and where he's coming from.
He said he only had 2 tackles, but the Miami coaches said he dominated the tight end in the running game, which they were very impressed with. 3rd and long for the Rattlers. 3rd and 7 from their own 10. Fake draw. Jackson running out of the pocket. Down the sideline, and that pass is nearly caught, but Mitchell could not hang on. James Lewis had the coverage on Cedric Mitchell, and again, it's going to be a punting situation. TJ Smith is the busiest guy in the park for the Rattlers.
Yeah, you're right. He's getting a lot of action from the special teams position, and the Rattlers, after that first series, they have not had any continuity trying to throw the football or run it. They looked great coming out of the box in the opening drive, but since then Miami's been able to do a nice job of putting pressure on the opposing quarterback and really limiting any offensive yardage.
Ethnic Sands standing in FAMU territory at the 46 to receive the punt from TJ Smith. Minute 18 left to go 2nd quarter. Miami with the 38-3 lead. Here come the Canes again, and Aaron Mosier blocked the punt, and it goes out of the end zone for a safety. Aaron Mosier, who is the Big East decathlon champion and an outstanding athlete, comes up with the block punt as the Canes block their 2nd punt of the night.
Aaron Mosier almost took the football right off TJ Smith's right leg. Just coming through like a bullet, nobody touched. Aaron Mosier coming right through the middle on the special teams play for Miami, and gets 2 points for the Canes.
Well, if anybody doesn't think special teams is important, all you need to do is pop in the tape of last week's Texas game against North Carolina State as we look at Aaron Mosier, number 26, looping around Jeff Popovich, and the center McIntosh just never found him.
Yeah, just a nice job by Popovich. He stays in his lane, and then Aaron Mosier is the game right off of number 33, Popovich, and you see Aaron Mosier on the sidelines enjoying it right now. He wanted that touchdown. He wanted 6, but he gets 2 as a great result of terrific effort.
What I was alluding to is Texas dominated North Carolina State a week ago, held them to 170 yards offense and 7 first downs, but allowed 3 block punts, 2 for touchdowns, 1 for a safety, and NC State winds up winning the game 23-20, and Mac Brown, the Texas coach, had to be pulling his hair out the whole night and the next day, wondering how can we possibly have lost that ball game. And that's the importance of special teams. Butch Davis and his staff put a lot of emphasis on special teams. In fact, Chuck Pagano, who's the secondary coach, is also the special teams coordinator. So they have an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, and a special teams coordinator, and that's the emphasis they put on special teams.
Well, you always hear about the three facets of a game, you know, offense, defense, and special teams, and each one is 1/3 of the football game. In Miami, as we showed the graphic earlier about blocking kicks in the 90s or the last 4 years, that just adds to the list of dominance by the special teams for the Canes.
So the free kick coming up for the Rattlers from their own 20-yard line. Leonard Myers and Ethnic Sands will receive it. And they're playing Raise the Roof here at the Orange Bowl. And Leonard Myers was doing a little raising the roof of his own back at the Miami 20. It's 40-3. And hard to believe that FAMU actually had a lead in this ball game. 3-0 very early in the first quarter.
A long, long time ago, Frank.
Seems like eons, doesn't it? It's first half, about an hour and 40 minutes long right at the moment. But FAMU throws the ball an awful lot. Here's the free kick from Edwards. And that's Leonard Myers at the Miami 21. Myers looking for a seam. Leonard Myers at midfield, and he'll go down at the FAMU 46-yard line. Lorenzo Johnson, a backup defensive back, making the tackle, but once again, Miami with a short field. We'll start at the FAMU 46, and Ken Dorsey stays in the game as the quarterback. As you looked at on sideline at Bubba Franks, and Leonard Myers, the junior cornerback. Great kick returner in high school. His senior year, he returned 5 punts for touchdowns. So he knows what to do with the oblate spheroid when he has it in his hands.
That's right.
Except he should have had a touchdown before when he dropped an interception. Jarrett Payton is the tailback. This is Payton with the pitch, trying to turn the corner, and he gets tripped up and picks up only about 2. Vernon Mitchell with the tackle for the FAMU defense.
A lot of backups in on the offensive line for Miami as well. You see Greg LaFury out at left tackle, I believe, and Aaron Mosier on the wide out, number 26, who just blocked the punt in at the wide receiver position.
2nd and 8 for the Hurricanes. 38 seconds to go in the first half, and Miami in no particular hurry. Just letting Dorsey take his time as he sees his first game action as a Miami Hurricane. Jarrett Payton again with the football. Good block from Wilbur Valdez, and Payton will pick up close to 7 yards down to the FAMU 38-yard line. He's about 1.5 yards shy of a first down.
That was a nice aggressive run that time by Jarrett Payton on the toss, trying to go to the short side. He gets to the short side, then saw a crease, put his shoulders north and south, and really came up and did a nice job of getting through the hole, getting close to the first down.
Here in the first half. And the clock is down to the 0-0. And at the end of the second quarter, we have reached halftime. It's the Hurricanes 40, Florida A&M 3, as Butch Davis and the Hurricanes head to the locker room with a significant lead. We'll be back with our halftime activities. Beth Mowens will update you on scores and all the rest. You're watching Big East football from ESPN+.
You're watching Sports Channel Florida. Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in this presentation.
10 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Miami with a 40-point lead over Florida A&M. It's 43-3. A good experience for Florida A&M, John, because this is a team that reached the second round of the 1AA playoffs last year, was voted the Sheridan Poll national champion for traditionally black colleges, and they are ranked in the top 10 of Division I AA again this year. So they've got a lot ahead of them on their MEAC schedule, and this is one of those games they take for the payoff and for the experience for their young players, but certainly they've got a lot of things left this season that they can accomplish. Andy Crossland with the kick. And that heads out of bounds, so FAMU will take over 1st and 10 at their 35. Miami's scoring drive, 8 plays, 35 yards, 2 minutes and 26 seconds, and a 32-yard field goal from Andy Crossland, his second of the night. Some of the crowd here at the Orange Bowl.
All right. I think they're waiting for the clock to run a little bit too, Frank.
Kickoff out of bounds by the kicking team. The ball will be
a mistake by Andy Crossland on the kickoff, trying to aim for the corner and pin the receiving team in that area, but he knocked it out of bounds, so FAMU will have it 1st and 10 from their 35. Raleigh Dykstra remains the quarterback, and they'll go with the 3 wide receiver set. shifting into the I. Travis Williams is the tailback. And that's Travis Williams with the football. And Travis trying to travel. Bounces off a Nick Ward hit, and then he is buried. Quincy Hips and Michael Smith knocked down Travis Williams. Loss of a yard.
Which just shows you the great team speed that Miami possesses up front. That's Quincy Hips, number 90, just flying to the football. And he's a big guy at 6'4", 260, really running down the offensive back for the Rattlers offense.
Again, four wide receivers, in the formation. Dykstra out of the shotgun. Quick drop, pass to Nunnally, and he hadn't turned his head around quickly enough, and the pass falls incomplete off his left hand.
I think that time Roland Dykstra wanted Nunnally just to go upfield and kind of idle instead of running his route because he was uncovered. The quarterback saw one thing and the receiver saw something else, and that time it falls harmlessly to the ground.
3rd and 11. Miami again crowding the line of scrimmage. Dykstra to the sideline and incomplete. And that'll bring up another punting situation. Cedric Mitchell, the intended receiver. And it's just been a rough go since Quinn Gray left this football game. The other quarterbacks for Florida A&M just having all kinds of problems.
Yeah, that time the ball deflected at the line of scrimmage, but we'll get to see Ethnic Sands have another opportunity to return a kick for the Canes special teams.
Ethnic standing at the Miami 40-yard line. FAMU's had all kinds of problems getting the right personnel on the field in their punting situations. You would think that wouldn't be much of a problem. They've had plenty of practice at it tonight. TJ Smith with plenty of time, hangs it high. Sands at his own 28. Ethnic looking for some blocks, and he's got some room. Ethnic Sands to midfield. Ethnic Sands with one guy to beat. He cuts it back. Ethnic still on his feet, and finally laterals the ball to Philip Buchanan, who recovers at the 11-yard line. Well, it's 43-3. I guess he figured, why not?
You're right. There's nothing to lose.
We're going to take a timeout. There's 9 minutes and 21 seconds left to go third quarter. The Hurricanes lead it 43-3. You're watching Big East football from the ESPN+. Miami takes over 1st and 10 at their 29. Ken Dorsey's first play, an incomplete pass. It was deflected at the line of scrimmage. This is a 2nd and 10 play, and this is Jarrett Payton with the football. Payton trying to read his blocks, will get about 3 yards. Tackle from number 1, Jerron Daly, backup defensive end, also from Miami, out of Norland High School. 3rd and 7 upcoming for Ken Dorsey and the Hurricanes. 8:57 to go third quarter, and the clock moving. Miami up 43-3. Andre King, Ethnic Sands, the wide receivers in this formation. Wilbur Valdez, the fullback, and Jarrett Payton is the tailback. Jarrett seeing his first collegiate action. Dorsey under some pressure, overthrows Andre King at the 48-yard line. And that'll bring up a punting situation for Miami. And well, Ken Dorsey right now is not inspiring a ton of confidence. If you're a Miami fan, he's looked a little bit shaky, a little bit nervous his first time out.
Yeah, and to his credit, he has the backup offensive line in front of him. He was under a little duress that time, trying to step up and throw the crossing route into number 84, Andre King. But you're right, Frank. You'd like to see him have a little bit more success and a little bit more rhythm out there at the quarterback position.
Crossland in to kick. And Jacque Nunnally back to receive. This is Nunnally at his 26, and a fair catch is called, and that's where FAMU will start. 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line. 8:21 to go third quarter. Miami up by 40. Let's go down to Beth Mowens with a very special guest. Beth?
Thank you very much, Frank. Well, Miami fans ought to recognize Edgerrin James, the 2nd all-time leading rusher here at Miami, who left last year and is now on to the NFL. And Edgerrin, you've been standing here talking a lot with Najee Davenport. What kind of advice have you been given to him?
Well, the main thing for him to just stay into it, don't get down. And, you know, he has 2 more years left, and he's going to be all right. You know, things happen for a reason. You never know what reason it was, you know, and everything's going to turn out well for him. Just go out and don't give up, and he'll be all right.
How about James Jackson? Now, obviously, he'll have a bigger load to carry. What kinds of things does he need to keep in mind?
Well, he just got to go out and be himself, you know, go out and make plays and just stay in shape because it's going to be some long games. It's going to be some long, hard games. You just have to be ready to be able to take the pounding and go through and make plays. And James, everybody knows James will bust big ones anytime. So he'll be all right. It's gonna be all right out here.
There's a lot of talk, obviously, after the great start, the win over Ohio State, and now it looks like the Canes will be 2-0, about the program being back. The Canes are back in the top 10. Do a lot of the alumni and former players feel that that's the case this year?
Yeah, us as alumni, now I can say I'm an alumni. But yeah, we so excited out there. During our game the other night, it was, we were playing against the Seahawks, and as soon as the play is over, we get up talking about those Hurricanes on the field, and it's just everybody's excited about what Coach Davis has done for the program and the way the guys are, reacting. They're going out there practicing hard, and then they're showing what they did all summer.
All right, Edgerrin, glad to see you back here at the Orange Bowl, and you've got a lot of work to do now on Sunday afternoons for your football career. Best of luck to you this season.
All right, thank you.
Edgerrin James, let's go back upstairs. Frank?
2nd and 4 play for FAMU. Travis Williams dumped by Adrian Wilson, a loss of a yard. Before the first play got started, Miami got tagged with an illegal substitution penalty. And then Williams got no gain and then now dropped for a loss of a yard. That'll bring up 3rd and 6 for FAMU.
Frank, just seeing Edgerrin James on that sideline, I can still see him running by some gold and powder blue helmets and gold helmets with UCLA written on them. What a game he had that afternoon.
299 yards. And he's going to see a lot of the football for the Colts this year. Dykstra's pass complete to Kanan Lamb, but he'll be short of a first down as Phillip Buchanan immediately made the tackle. A 5-yard gain, but it's a yard shy of the first. Buchanan, the true freshman out of Lehigh, Florida. That's over by Fort Myers. And it's 4th down for FAMU, and let's see if they go for it.
If Nijay's not using that wheelchair, they might have to wheel out T.J. Smith a couple times later in the game because he's probably punted in double digits now, don't you think, Frank?
Absolutely. His leg's getting awfully tired. I'll tell you what, Edgerrin James, by the way, AJ, Beth forgot to ask him, can you give us a loan?
Yeah, just a little.
$9.5 million signing bonus and $1.5 million reporting bonus.
Pretty good.
Here's T.J. Smith's punt. End over end. Ethnic Sands will let it bounce. And it'll fall dead at the Miami 27-yard line. And that's where the Canes will take over 1st and 10. 6 minutes and 13 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter at the Orange Bowl. Miami with a comfy 43-3 lead. You're watching Big East football from ESPN+.
Are these your final numbers?
These are our final numbers.
What do you think, Jack? It looks pretty good from this end.
I never thought you guys could pull this one off.
Have we ever let you down?
Not yet. Hey, weren't you supposed to go away for your anniversary?
Oh, you know us. All work, no play.
Great job, guys. Great.
Well, back to the grind.
Thanks for the opportunity, Jack.
Nextel's i1000 Plus comes with a crystal clear speakerphone, so you can take care of business from anywhere. Nextel, how business gets done.
At AutoNation USA, it's about lower prices. You never have to haggle over the prices of our pre-owned vehicles. When you see how low they are, you'll know why. It's about higher standards, and every quality certified pre-owned vehicle is protected by our money-back guarantee and limited warranty. It's about lower prices. It's about higher standards. It's about time for AutoNation USA. Visit us in person or online at AutoNationUSA.com.
Time to rattle the snake. Dolphins versus Cardinals, September 19th, 1 p.m. at Pro Player Stadium. Feel the power. Catch it live. Call 1-888-FINSTICS.
6:13 left to go, 3rd quarter at the Orange Bowl. Miami up 43-3. They take over at their 27-yard line. Robert Williams in motion from the fullback slot, and looks like Jared made it. Clinton Portis is just buried. Othello Vaughn, number 56, making penetration into the Miami backfield for a loss of 2.
Yeah, it looked like the quarterback-center exchange wasn't clean, and actually Clinton Portis ended up paying the price for the bobbled snap.
Second down and 12 for the Hurricanes. Ken Dorsey has seen plenty of action tonight at quarterback. You see the score and time remaining in the third quarter. This is Clinton Portis behind Wilbur Valdez's block, and he's blasted down by Brooks up at the 29-yard line, a gain of 2. And it'll bring up third and about 10. There's some scores from around the rest of the nation tonight. Tennessee defending their national championship, or at least beginning to, leading Wyoming. The Florida Gators now finally putting some distance between themselves and Western Michigan. And Texas A&M over Louisiana Tech in the second quarter, 20-3. Give Portis a gain of 4 on the last play. I want to correct myself. The gain was from the 25 to the 29. That'll bring up third and about 8. And Ken Dorsey calls a timeout with 4 minutes and 57 seconds left in the third quarter. We're going to take a timeout as well here at the Orange Bowl as the Hurricanes try to get some of the young players some experience. Canes up by 40. You're watching Big East football from ESPN+.
Par, birdie. Whoa, par. Must be a Golf Magazine subscriber. Call now for your free trial issue and learn how to shave 3, 4, or 5 strokes off your game. Add 20 yards to your tee shots. Improve your short game. Shoot lower and play the best golf of your life. Call now for your free trial issue of Golf Magazine. If you like it, get 11 more issues, 12 in all for just $19.97. Plus, get this terrific Golf Magazine gear bag free with your paid subscription.
Call 1-800-848-9339 now.
Chuck, it's Rennie. I'm stuck. Call me back.
Rennie, we're doing shadow puppets. Call me.
Chuck!
Rennie.
Call me back.
You just left me a message. I'm not going to touch my phone. Call me.
Tired of phone tag? Nextel's the only national wireless carrier with Direct Connect, a digital two-way radio feature. So, instead of reaching Chuck's voicemail, you can actually reach Chuck. Nextel, how business gets done.
I'm Ned Smith, host of Sunday Morning NFL. For the past 4 years, Sunday Morning NFL has been the cornerstone of Sports Channel Florida's Sunday morning program. We're up early before the alphabet letter networks are, bringing you the latest on the Miami Dolphins, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. You want to know the latest about Mark Brunell, Dan Marino, Trent Dilfer, join Dave Wood, John Conjimmy, Frank Frangie, and myself as we bring you a live 90 minutes of Sunday Morning NFL right here on Sports Channel Florida.
Baseball Night in Florida is Sports Channel's exclusive cable coverage of the Florida Marlins and Tampa Bay Devil Rays. The Marlins take on Gary Sheffield and the Dodgers Tuesday night at 6:30.
Back to action at the Orange Bowl, 4:57 left to go third quarter. Miami with a 3rd and 8 from their own 30-yard line. Dorsey straight drop back. Dorsey complete to Ethnic Sands. Sands trying to jitterbug his way upfield, and he'll be brought down short of the first down. Richard Brooks, number 28, making the tackle. It was a gain of 5, but 2 yards shy of the first down. Ken Dorsey now 2 out of 9 for 26 yards in his Hurricane debut. And for Ethnic Sands, his first catch as a Miami Hurricane. So Andy Crossland will come in to punt. Check that, it's Freddie Capshaw, the walk-on, number 13. And Jacque Nunnally back to receive for the Rattlers. Capshaw's first punt, hangs it high, nice hang time. Fair catch called by Nunnally, bobbled it, and Jeff Popovich recovers for the Hurricanes.
That's 2 for Jeff Popovich on special teams, 2 fumble recoveries. As you said, a nice hanging punt by Freddie Capshaw, but another bobble by the Rattlers special teams, and Jeff Popovich right there to pick up the football for the Canes.
Well, just special teams really lacking tonight for Florida A&M.
Yeah, it's just been, you know, the second quarter and the second half so far for the Rattlers just not getting underway the way they'd like to. You see there, number 85 just bobbling the football. Normally known for good hands, Jacque Nunnally, but he bobbles the punt, and the Canes have excellent field position on the Rattlers' 27-yard line.
Jared Payton in the game at tailback. Robert Williams is the fullback. Ethnic Sands and Andre King the wide receivers. And Dan Smith is the tight end. Kenny Dorsey quarterbacking. Dorsey, that's a lateral to Jared Payton. This counts as a running play. Payton trying to get outside. Good stiff arm, and he'll gain yardage to the 21-yard line. Put a nice stiff arm on Mitchell, the cornerback.
And you got to see a little bit of a peek of that speed that Jared possesses to the outside. You saw the Rattler defender have the angle on him, and Jared just kind of dipped into another gear, got to the outside, and actually got to the corner for a gain of, it looks like, close to 7 yards.
As I mentioned, that's a lateral, so that counts as a rushing attempt for Jared Payton. He'll bring up second and about 4. Ball just outside the FAMU 20-yard line. Dorsey, play fake. Swings it out to Williams as fullback. Williams bounced out of bounds by Mitchell, but he should have enough for a first down at the Rattler 15-yard line. And Robert Williams, seeing some action at fullback, came to the University of Miami actually as a wide receiver, was converted to tight end, and now is playing fullback.
He showed nice hands on the play, catching the ball outside of, didn't really bring it into his stomach, used his hands on the outside, then tucked it in, put it under his arm, and he had enough yards for the first down.
That's those wide receiver hands from his high school days.
That's what you would love to see.
First and 10 Miami from the Rattler 15, 3:40 to go third quarter. Miami with a comfortable 43-3 lead. Blitz coming. They almost took the handoff. Jared Payton has the football and will get about 2. Ebby Parsons and Richard Brooks making the tackle. Brooks, by the way, number 28 for Florida A&M, the safety out of Miami Northwestern High School. He designed the cover of the Rattler media guide. He is a artist, and he drew the cover, featuring the 3 wide receivers from the offense that he faces in practice.
Did a pretty good job, too. I'm surprised he didn't put himself on there somewhere.
Yeah. Gain of 2 for Jared Payton on the last play. Second and long for the Hurricanes. And it looks like Dan Smith false started for Miami. And that'll cost him 5. 3 minutes and 1 second left to go third quarter. Frank Fort, John Congemi in the booth, and Beth Mowins down on the sideline here tonight from the Orange Bowl.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remain second down.
And just to recap a bit for you, the Rattlers on their first possession went down and kicked a field goal and had a 3-0 lead in this game, and then it was kind of like the sky is falling, the sky is falling. A touchdown pass to Santana Moss, a couple of James Jackson touchdown runs, an Andy Crossland field goal, a touchdown pass to Bubba Frank. Suddenly it was 31-3, and then all kind of special teams mistakes have doomed Florida A&M to a lack of competitiveness in this game. Jared Payton skips by one guy in the backfield, trying to get around the corner, and does. Payton still going and down at the 11-yard line. Well, that should have been about a loss of 3. Instead, Jared Payton turned it into an 8-yard gain.
Yeah, good call on that, Frank. It should have been a loss behind the line of scrimmage. Jared Payton doing a nice job just using his athleticism outside, really tiptoeing, making himself small on the outside. Watch the spin move to the outside right here. Watch this move. He makes everyone miss and gets by and shows great balance, and he keeps going forward, Frank. That's what all great running backs do. They always finish going toward the goal line, and right there you see number 32, Jared Payton, doing the same.
3rd and 6 for Miami from the Rattler 11. Dorsey to throw. Swings it out to Williams, and he dropped it.
We were just talking about those wide receiver hands, Frank. That's, I mean, he now is officially a fullback.
Well, Tyron Johnson kind of got in the passing lane, and it looked like he blocked Williams' vision just a bit. Corey Johnson, number 54, the senior, 6 feet and 220 pounds, is down at the 19-yard line. And the Rattler training staff will come out and take a look. In fact, the trainers from Miami are the first ones out there. And now the FAMU trainer heads across the field. A minute 56 left to go third quarter. It's Miami 43 and Florida A&M 3. Been kind of a slow third quarter. Just one scoring play, that and Andy Crossland field goal, his second of the night. And he'll be on the field to attempt another one, but this time from the left hash mark. And I'm sure Butch Davis tonight was hoping to get Andy Crossland some field goal attempts, not to run up the score or to rub it in at all, but just for the fact that he missed 2 inside 30 yards last week, and he wanted to try and get the kid's confidence back because he's going to need him down the road.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, Frank, to get in a game situation, get under the lights, and go ahead and kick it and make it from the first the right hash a couple times, and now he has some chip shots, which he missed against Ohio State. It's good that he's getting the short field goal opportunities and making them.
Well, he's going to get another shot here. And this one will come from about 34 yards away as Jeff Popovich kneels.
Let's go.
Check that from the 18-yard line. We'll make it a 28-yard attempt. Pat Del Vecchio is the snapper for the Hurricanes. Good snap. Popovich gets it down. Crossland puts it up, and he hits the upright, and it falls away no good. Well, hopefully that doesn't put him back to square one. He had made two earlier tonight, but Crossland misses from 28 yards out. His third miss inside 30.
Yeah, and Butch trying to talk to Andy a little bit, saying not to worry about it, just concentrate, and when you get another opportunity, make sure you follow through and make the field goal.
1st and 10 for the Rattlers. They'll start from their own 20 after the miss. And they set up in a standard I formation. Raleigh Dykstra, the quarterback. And the two Williams kids in the backfield. Dykstra with the pump fake. Has plenty of time. Going deep down the middle and overthrows at the Miami 45-yard line. Going for Demetris Bendros. Coverage from Nick Ward and Philip Buchanan. Nick Ward, who's had kind of a, I guess you could say, a checkered career at the University of Miami. He's been victimized quite often in the past and has dropped down on the depth chart, but tonight has come on and made a couple of nice plays, had his first career sack, and actually in fall practice probably played as well as I've ever seen him play.
Yeah, I was just going to say, in the practices that I've heard about, he's really done a good job, and on special teams, he's a big key.
2nd and 10 for the Rattlers. 3-step drop, Dykstra to Lamb, incomplete. Lamb did get one hand on it, but couldn't haul it in. Nick Ward on the coverage. And that'll bring up 3rd and long for the Rattlers. Tell you what, Florida A&M has some big offensive linemen. Their entire starting front line is all over 305 pounds.
All anchored by that man right there.
Salofi Nua with the hair sticking out the back. How
Frank,
about
you
that?
used to have hair like that when you were a youngster, huh?
When I was in college,
You were
John.
in college.
I was in college. On the draw play, Williams, Travis Williams, trying to get to the first down. Picks up 7 yards, but will be short of the first down. He has the Miami defense willing to concede the short gain. Rod Mack in on the tackle along with Philip Buchanan. And that'll bring up a 4th down. And TJ Smith comes onto the field to punt for the 11th time tonight.
Wow.
He's had one block for a safety and another one deflected. And Ethnic Sands in to return the kick.
See if the Rattlers make sure they have 11 people. They've had some bad numbers on the special teams tonight.
Ethnic had a great return the last time out. Unfortunately, it was brought back by an illegal block penalty. And again, Florida A&M having trouble with the personnel, and they're forced to call a timeout. Well, that's something they've got to straighten out for their own benefit during their conference schedule. You can't be in these situations giving up timeouts and giving up delay of game penalties down the road. As you take a look at the Miami wide receivers who have the rest of the night off, and we'll take a look at some other scores from around the country today on this first big Saturday of college football. Boston College at home survived in overtime in the Big East as Baylor missed an extra point in the overtime. East Carolina knocks off West Virginia. Miami will play both those teams later in the schedule. They'll travel to East Carolina, and West Virginia will be here in the Orange Bowl. And Pittsburgh opens with a 30-10 win over Bowling Green. Rutgers losing to Cal 21-7. And a look at Ethnic Sands. And by the way, on Thursday night, Temple lost 6-0 to Maryland.
Right.
That must have been a thriller.
I bet the clock couldn't run fast enough in that one.
Low snap, and TJ Smith is going to have to eat it. Down he goes at the 16-yard line. Michael Stewart and Philip Buchanan there, and Philip Buchanan a little bit slow getting up. A true freshman from over in the Fort Myers area. Now he's on his feet and walking off, so that punt attempt goes awry, and that's the 3rd mistake just on the punting portion of it. They've had 3 bobbles receiving kicks, so a total of 6 special teams mistakes.
when teams prepare for Miami, they really have to pay attention to the special teams. Now, this was caused by a bad snap, but still there were a couple orange jerseys coming in that were untouched. And you see right there a lot of orange jerseys around the football, and that's something you really have to pay attention to when you're facing the Hurricanes.
From the 16, hand off to Wilbur Valdez, the fullback. Keeps the legs churning and picks up about 3. Host of defenders in there for the FAMU Rattlers, Evie Parsons among them. As he helps Valdez to his feet. And with 28 seconds left to go third quarter, Miami will have a second and about 7. Tonight's attendance here at the Orange Bowl, 54,147. Pretty nice crowd, boosted by a lot of the Florida A&M alumni from the South Florida area. On 2nd and 7. Dorsey, 3-step drop. Fade route for Ethnic Sands. He caught it, and it's a touchdown. Ethnic Sands got a foot in bounds.
Wow, it must have been just a tap dance, because from our vantage point, it didn't look like he came down in bounds, but the referee did not hesitate. He put his arms up, signaling a touchdown, and Ethnic Sands looks to stay down out of bounds. Might be a cramp, but let's see if he got a foot down. That was a nice throw by Ken Dorsey, the freshman quarterback. Let's see if he's in bounds. Yeah, he clearly got one. Clearly got one down. That was a beautiful catch and throw. Nice combination by the young Hurricanes.
And Ethnic Sands, the former high school quarterback from Carroll City, and had some big nights here in the Orange Bowl as a high school quarterback. Kind of a Donovan McNabb clone when he was in high school. Switched to wide receiver at the University of Miami, and that is his first collegiate touchdown. Nice to see Ethnic getting in the scorebook, because he's a very nice young man, a tremendous athlete, and a guy who just knows how to win. He's a winner. Popovich will hold for Crossland on the extra point. And Crossland's kick is good, and with 2 seconds left to go in the third quarter, Miami has extended their lead to 50-3. Just a little bit more on Ethnic Sands, John. He had a chance to go and play quarterback at schools like Youngstown State and some other 1AA type schools, but decided, I talked to him at the Dade Broward All-Star game, and he said, well, those schools are interested, and so is Miami. And I said, but you couldn't play quarterback at Miami. He said, I don't care. I want to go someplace where I can contribute, and I want to be on a winning team. And he's a good guy to have in the program, because, as I said, he's a very nice young man. He's a good athlete, and he's a winner and willing to contribute any way he can. He's returning punts. He's getting some action as a wide receiver. Good to see him get a touchdown.
Well, there's going to be a time in his career where the University of Miami is going to count on him in a big way. He's got great athletic ability, great size and speed to the outside. And you take a look at some of the younger fans that are still in the Orange Bowl tonight, Ethnic Sands is going to have a chance to mature and grow as a Hurricane, and you can see that he has that raw ability.
And we should mention Ken Dorsey's first collegiate touchdown
pass.
Right.
And he's on the board.
Hurricanes fans hope that's the first of many. Last year we got a chance to see Kenny Kelly throw his first college touchdown pass. He wound up the year with 5 against 1 interception, and of course he's the man this year.
And he's going to be counted on to get in the end zone and cash in many more times this season, because there's some stiff tests down the road for Kenny Kelly and the Hurricanes.
And certainly 2 weeks from this evening when Miami will play Penn State. Penn State just been a juggernaut so far. They embarrassed Arizona, and they wiped out Akron, expectedly, both on their home field in Happy Valley. And Crossland will kick it off. Travian Turner and Troy Hart deep to receive. This will be Troy Hart at the 7, and he bobbles it. And it's a loose football. It's still loose, and it looks like Miami's got it. LeVar Scott comes up with it at the 10-yard line.
Wow, the Rattlers special team's just going to have to take the film and go by themselves in a room and really study just how to catch the football, because that's probably been the 4th time they fumbled the ball.
Just a special teams nightmare for the Rattlers. That's the end of the third quarter. It's Miami 50, FAMU 3. We'll be right back at the Orange Bowl after this.
What sets some people apart?
Start of the fourth quarter here at the Orange Bowl. Miami with a 50-3 lead, and they're starting at the FAMU 9-yard line after the 7th special teams mistake by the Rattlers so far tonight. Ken Dorsey, the quarterback. Valdez and Portis in the backfield behind him. This is Portis. Tries to bounce outside to the 5 and gets down close to the 3-yard line. Richard Brooks and Greg Ray combining on the tackle. They're going to put that ball just inside the 2. Some of the fans here at the Orange Bowl tonight enjoying the action.
Frank, you can see both of these young running backs, the will to get in that end zone. Both of them have had the opportunity inside the 10-yard line to carry the football. You can just see them trying to get in the end zone so desperately.
2nd and goal for the Hurricanes. Portis again into the pile, keeps moving and scores. Clinton Portis from 2 yards out, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And Miami's lead extends to 56-3. As I said before, he had 26 touchdowns as a high school senior, so pay dirt is not unfamiliar to Clinton Portis. He knows how to get there.
He sure does, and give credit to that offensive line. There was a nice line surge there. You see number 86, Ivan Mercer, going in the tight end spot, trying to help Portis into the end zone. They do a nice job up front at the University of Miami, winning the battle up front.
Crossland on for the conversion. And Jeff Popovich to hold. 40 seconds into the 4th quarter. And Miami has added yet another touchdown. Penalty flags fly as Crossland knocks it through. And with all due respect to the Big East crew, couldn't we just ignore it at this point? I think Miami might only have 10 guys on the field. It's an illegal procedure penalty against the Hurricanes. And so they'll move it back 5, and Crossland will attempt a longer extra point.
Illegal formation. Only 6 players on the line of scrimmage by the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
Well, we're going to replay the extra point from 5 yards further back. Miami with all kinds of scoring tonight. Offense, special teams, got a safety on a block punt. Andy Crossland with a couple of field goals. And now Crossland with the longer extra point. It doesn't matter to him. 5 extra yards, no problem. And with 14:20 left to go in the 4th quarter, it's Miami 57, Florida A&M 3. We'll be back at the Orange Bowl. You're watching Big East football from ESPN+.
Have you outgrown your current position or find yourself unemployed? Then it's time to look in the National Business Employment Weekly. You'll find top jobs with top companies and advice on landing them. Order 10 issues for only $44 and you'll get interviewing and a bonus issue free. Look in the National Business Employment Weekly. You never know what you'll find.
To subscribe, call 800-313-2400. That's 800-313-2400.
At AutoNation USA, it's about lower prices. You never have to haggle over the prices of our pre-owned vehicles. When you see how low they are, you'll know why. It's about higher standards, and every quality certified pre-owned vehicle is protected by our money-back guarantee and limited warranty. It's about lower prices. It's about higher standards. It's about time for AutoNation USA. Visit us in person or online at AutoNationUSA.com.
Where'd you get this dog? She's a manly dog.
No, it's your
That's what I said. Good get. Thanks.
Back at the Orange Bowl, 14:20 to go in the football game. The Hurricanes with a comfy 57-3 lead. And special teams, always an adventure for the Rattlers tonight. By our count, they've made 7 errors in the kicking game. 3 while they're trying to punt the ball, and 4 while they're trying to return either punts or kickoffs. Travian Turner and Troy Hart back. Crossland hangs it high. Turner. And Maurice Sykes runs him down at the 22-yard line. That's where FAMU will start 1st and 10. And just all kinds of offensive struggles for the Rattlers since Quinn Gray left the football game. Dan Morgan's got the pads off, the jersey off.
I'm surprised that undershirt sweaty. He didn't get in an awful lot in the 1st quarter, but when he did, he made an impact along with some of the other defensive players there you see. There's Nate Webster as well.
And Dykstra remains the quarterback, Roland Dykstra, with Kenneth Williams and Travis Williams in the backfield behind him. Dykstra quickly to the outside, complete to Nunnally, and Nunnally gets up close to the 30-yard line. Pickup of 8 on first down. James Scott on the coverage.
Nunnally came into this game with big numbers. You know, last year he has a reputation of two-time All-American, led Division 1A receptions with 109 and over 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns. But early in the game when Quinn Gray was out of the game, Frank, that went his chances to have a big night.
Travis Williams with some running room, but he is cut down and lost the football. Will they say he's down? Yes, they say the ground caused the fumble. Give him a gain of 3 yards and a first down. Again, James Scott on the tackle along with Julio Jimenez, a walk-on, wearing number 46. Look at James Scott, converted wide receiver, the redshirt freshman. First down for the Rattlers from their 33. Again, Williams trying to get to the outside, and he is blasted down. James Sutton, the senior backup linebacker. FAMU, by the way, that first down they made just a moment ago, their first down since the first quarter.
It's been a long time in coming. It looks like there's a Rattler down on offense.
Travis Williams, who carried the football, a little slow getting up, and he is not getting up. Miami now with, of course, the total subs in on the defensive side of the football. Jamal Green, Matt Walters, Clint Hurt, and Brian Stinson along the defensive line. Michael Smith getting a little ice on the shoulder, and Miami's upcoming schedule, they'll play Penn State in a couple weeks, then a visit to East Carolina, and that's no gimme. That's a tough place to play. Of course, Florida State, the #1 team in the country, on October 9th. And then the Big East opener against Temple, and a visit to Boston College on the 23rd of October.
As we talked about, before the season started, the state schools would dictate how Miami was going to finish the season, and they've gotten by Ohio State in the kickoff classic, but Penn State, a very formidable opponent coming into the Orange Bowl. The place should be on electric that afternoon when Penn State comes in. But as you said, East Carolina today, they come in and beat West Virginia by a touchdown in East Carolina, so that's a tough place to play, especially in the evening.
Yeah, tough to read on West Virginia this year because Mark Bulger, their record-setting quarterback, is back, but they lose Amos Zeraway, they lose Sean Foreman.
Defense,
who
Gary
else am I thinking
Stills.
of? David Saunders, the wide receiver, he's gone. Gary Stills is gone. So Bulger's there, but not sure what kind of weapons he's got around him. And 4 of the 5 offensive linemen graduated as well. So it's kind of tough to get a read on what kind of team West Virginia is. There's a preseason Big East poll. Miami picked to win it. Virginia Tech, that's a program that's really gotten a lot of respect in the last couple of years, and they've become a team to be reckoned with nationally. We're going to take a timeout with the injury on the field. It's Miami 57, Florida A&M 3. You're watching Big East football from ESPN+.
No one looks at the markets with a more insightful eye than Barron's, offering timely coverage of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, everything investors need to stay informed. Subscribe now and you'll also receive this Barron's Stock Evaluator free. It lets your computer help you turn money into wealth. Get 13 weeks of Barron's and the Stock Evaluator, all for only $39. Call now toll-free.
800-334-6600. That's 800-334-6600.
Chevrolet cars are trusted by more Americans than any other. Chevy trucks are the most dependable, longest lasting on the road. If that's not enough reason to own a Chevrolet car or truck, then this definitely is. The Great Summer Drive-In from Chevrolet. You can get $1,500 cash back on Chevy Malibu, or get $2,000 cash back on Chevy Blazer 4-door, or check out the offers on other great Chevrolet cars and trucks. It's Chevrolet's Great Summer Drive-In. See your local Chevrolet dealer today.
13:02 left to go in the game back at the Orange Bowl. 57-3, Miami leading Florida A&M. Travis Williams walked off under his own power. Kelsey Lordius is the new tailback. And the fake to Lordius, Dykstra steps up in the pocket, throws it deep, and that ball is out of bounds. It was going for Jacque Nunnally. And it'll bring up 3rd and long for the Rattlers.
Kind of tough for deception purposes when the score is 57-3 to throw that pump and go, but A&M decides to do that, and the ball was well overthrown as well as being out of bounds.
3rd and 9 for the Rattlers. Dykstra, straight drop. Has some time, completes it to Nunnally and pushed out of bounds by James Scott, but that's a pickup of 10 yards and a first down.
Well, after throwing a poor ball the time before, Dykstra comes back and throws a nice comeback route to the outside to Nunnally, number 85, when it has enough yardage for a first down, and that hasn't happened in a while.
12:36 left to play. Rattlers will snap it 1st and 10 from their 46-yard line. Dykstra, 3-step drop. Pass complete, again to Nunnally, and he's dragged down. And they say no, incomplete. They said he was juggling it as he stepped out of bounds. Philip Buchanan had the coverage for Miami, so that goes as an incomplete pass. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10. Again, the Rattlers out of the standard set. There's the pitch to Lordius. Lordius gets by one Hurricane. Nick Ward hits him at the 46, and Lordius falls forward for a couple of yards. Penalty flag flies in the middle.
Looked like there was a hold. Canyon Lamb, number 4, got cut on the inside.
Illegal chop block. That'll set the Rattlers back, and we'll repeat 2nd down. Well, Nick Ward, number 3 for the Hurricanes, as I mentioned before, a guy who kind of fell out of favor, but because of the shortage of defensive backs, he's had to play a lot tonight, and he's done some nice things, and hopefully the part of his career where he gives up big plays, that part is over. He's been victimized in the past, and as I said, fell behind a lot of guys on the depth chart.
By the offense, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 2nd down.
15 yards from the spot of the foul, and again, 5 Miami Hurricane players, including 3 backup defensive backs, are on academic suspension right now and uncertain when they will return. They have been practicing with the team, Delvin Brown, Marquise Fitzgerald, and Darrell Arlene, but so far they've not been allowed to play in games. 2nd down after the 15-yard penalty and 24 yards to go. Dykstra under pressure, and down he goes. Howard Clark picking up the sack for the Hurricane defense. Let's go down to Beth Mowens on the sideline.
Well, Frank, it's probably not too soon to start thinking now about the Penn State Nittany Lions, who will be in town here at the Orange Bowl in a couple of weeks. Interesting tie, of course, Miami and Penn State. Greg Sciano, the new defensive coordinator, was a former defensive backfield coach under Jerry Sandusky for the Nittany Lions. And, of course, Penn State racking up 111 points through their first 2 games of the season. So a big job coming up in 2 weeks for Sciano. The numbers are in Miami's favor, though. The series 6-5 for the Canes, including the last 2 meetings. In fact, Miami now has won 9 in a row over Big Ten opponents. Their last loss to a current Big Ten school, that '87 Fiesta Bowl, when Penn State won the national championship. Frank?
And on the 3rd and long play, thank you, Beth, James Sutton comes up with the sack, the senior out of Southridge High School, backup linebacker. Well, back-to-back sacks by reserve linebackers there from Howard Clark and James Sutton, who they call Shorty.
That's right. Shorty gets in for a big play.
And his dad is one of the most rabid Hurricane fans there is. He's always at practice. He's at every game, of course, but he's the kind of guy, he shows up at practice. And our old friend,
happy.
Oh yeah, our old friend T.J. Smith
He's
on
back.
the field
This
again.
has got to be 12 or 13.
Oh. He may need a vacation after this game.
Paid vacation. There comes another guy coming on for special teams.
You know,
Rattlers just aren't getting it on special teams.
I don't know what the problem is on the sideline there. The Florida A&M coaching staff's got to kind of look in the mirror on this one, and I don't know whether the kids just aren't paying attention or it's the coach's fault for not having the right guys ready to go in there. It's kind of hard to say from up here, but
well, I know who's going to pay attention in 2 weeks is Penn State, because you see Miami with the #1 ranking in the preseason poll. Penn State, just an awesome team, an awesome display the last 2 weeks. So they're going to have to really sharpen up and forget about this one. Go back to work on Monday.
There's T.J. Smith's punt, high and short. Leonard Meyer says to everybody, get out of the way, and that ball bounces out at the FAMU 36-yard line. So once again, Miami in tremendous field position, and they lead it 57-3 with 10 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the game. Again, our look at the Big East preseason poll, and Miami and Virginia Tech considered the clear-cut favorites. Syracuse, West Virginia, BC, Rutgers, Pittsburgh, and Temple. Now, Miami getting 17 of the 24 first-place votes, and Butch Davis says, hey, that's nice, but I'd rather be the #1 team in the conference when it's all over.
Yeah, and Butch has had difficulty going into Virginia Tech and winning football games there. It's a tough environment to play in, and Miami has had trouble in the past, and that's later on in the season, and Virginia Tech has a lot of that defense coming back.
First down, Canes at the 36-yard line of Florida A&M. Give to Jarrett Payton. Not much there, and Jarrett will take a hard hit and go down for the loss of a yard. Cola in on the tackle, Anthony Cola. To get inside the huddle of your favorite Big East team, go online at www.bigeast.org for all the football and conference news from around the Big East. Miami and Virginia Tech, and they play in November in Blacksburg, and most people think that game will decide the Big East championship. For now, Miami trying to finish this one out. There's the fullback Robert Williams getting his first carry as a college player, and he'll pick up 2 yards. The 35-yard line of Florida A&M. Again, Cola in on the tackle along with Tyron Johnson, who's kind of slow getting up. He said, I'm tired, man. I've been out here a long time.
It's been a long evening for everyone. And Ken Dorsey, you see there, looking to the sidelines, trying to get the play on third and about 9 yards to go. And I think the quarterback position, Frank, in 2 weeks against Penn State is going to be really the key to the football game. How well Kenny Kelly can dictate to the Penn State defense and really stay sharp in all his reads.
Third and long for Dorsey and the Hurricanes. Give to Jarrett Payton. Not much there, but he squeezes through. Tried to go outside, but it will pick up only about a yard. Torrey Warren, back up outside linebacker, making the tackle. And that'll bring up a 4th and long, and Freddie Capshaw will come on with the punting team. Jarrett Payton did a nice job avoiding contact in the backfield, but there just wasn't much there once he reached the line of scrimmage. Capshaw stands at midfield, and FAMU really has nobody back to receive the punt. They're just going to let him hang it high and see what happens. And Miami's going to take the delay of game penalty to move back 5 yards and give Capshaw a little more angle to get it to the corner.
This is probably the toughest.
Remains 4th down.
Frank, this is probably the toughest part of the game because on special teams you have a lot of backups into the football game. You're not sure who's in the football game and who's supposed to be there. And you saw Edward Reed run in, and he wasn't supposed to be there. And Butch Davis a little upset that Wilbur Valdez wasn't in his place. So a lot of confusion on the sidelines most of the night on FAMU's part on special teams, in Miami finally losing a little bit of that concentration. But you don't blame him in a type of game like this.
Well, that you've got a mix and match of guys in there. High snap. Capshaw did a good job to bring it down and gets away a nice looking punt. Heading toward the end zone. Michael Stewart did a good job to keep it out of the end zone, and Miami will down it at the 6-yard line. So a nice job from Michael Stewart, the walk-on. 8 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. It's Miami 57, Florida A&M 3, back at the Orange Bowl right after this.
Golf Digest presents 50 ways to lower your score.
To get greater distance, turn your right foot out. For a better backswing, don't slide. Turn your hips instead.
Now, lower your score, drive longer, hit straighter, and play your best golf ever with the 50 new stroke-saving tips in every Golf Digest. Call now for your risk-free trial issue. If you like it, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $19.97. Plus, get this stroke-saving video free.
Call 800-543-6200.
What if you had to choose between a flower and an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a million-year-old beach. Could you choose between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Now you can choose all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with.
What if you lived in a home on an island you couldn't leave, with limited amounts of food and safe drinking water? It would be very important to use only what you need. Well, it doesn't matter where your home is, because we all live on an island we can't leave.
Back at the Orange Bowl, 8:02 left to go, fourth quarter. FAMU starts 1st and 10 from their own 5-yard line. Travis Williams back in at tailback, and he's got the football. And we'll pick up about 2. Jeff Popovich there at the bottom of the pile, making the tackle for the Hurricanes. Credit him with 3 yards on the carry. We'll bring up 2nd and 7.
You got to hope for FAMU that Quinn Gray is okay and be able to come back and play the rest of the season, because their season doesn't look that promising if you don't have that trigger guide quarterback, and he's definitely the man that's going to make them win football games this season. Travis Williams again with the football, and down he goes at the 10-yard line. Nick Ward in there, along with Julio Jimenez, number 46. And Jim Wilson, number 85. A redshirt freshman out of Hollywood, Florida, also in on the tackle. That'll bring up 3rd and about 5. 7:07 to go in the football game. The clock running, mercifully. It's been all Miami after about the first 3 or 4 minutes of this game. FAMU had a 3-0 lead, and it didn't last long, and it evaporated as quick as you could say at FAMU. On 3rd and 5, Dykstra. And he's going to be sacked by Matt Walters. Matt Walters' first career, a lot of firsts tonight for the Hurricanes. Got that right.
First career sack for Matt Walters.
Somebody forgot to tell Matt Walters he wasn't supposed to do that, because he came right through. I don't think he was touched by a FAMU offensive lineman. Looked like he was running a 40-yard dash the wrong way. Was Roland Dykstra. He was just going back to try to roll out, and before he knew it, big number 91 came in, Matt Walters. As you said, Frank, his first career sack, and it feels pretty good. Redshirt freshman from Melbourne, Florida, and he'll be in the defensive line rotation this year. He played a little bit against Ohio State, so they're not afraid to put him in there. Here's our old friend T.J. Smith. Handles a low snap and gets the kick away. Leonard Myers going to let this one bounce. And it turns out to be a pretty good kick for FAMU as it rolls out in Miami territory at the 48-yard line. We're going to take a timeout here at the Orange Bowl. There's 5:54 left to play as those still in the Orange Bowl are still rocking and rolling. It's Miami 57, FAMU 3. You're watching Big East football from ESPN+.
Get into your Mazda dealer's Zero In on Savings Closeout event. For low 0% financing on every 99 Mazda. There's never been a better time to save, so hurry in. Get 0% financing on every Mazda 626 or choose $2,000 cash back during Mazda's Zero In on Savings Closeout event.
Just in case that basketball scholarship doesn't work out. You'll need something to fall back on, like school. Get everything for back to school. Come into Office Depot. Low prices every day.
5:54 left to go in the football game, and Miami with a 57-3 lead, and Zach Hart now in the football game at quarterback for the Hurricanes as Miami has it 1st and 10 from their 48. This is Darrell Williams with the football, and he'll squeeze out about a yard. Second and 9 for the Hurricanes. Zach Hart, the number 2 quarterback going into fall practice, but lost out to Ken Dorsey. And so Zach now number 3 on the depth chart. The 57-point score tonight by Miami is the 9th highest single game total in Hurricane history. Those reserves in the game all over the place. Valdez and Williams the backfield. This is Darrell Williams again across midfield and into FAMU territory at the 47-yard line. Pickup of about 4. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 for Miami as we approach 5 minutes left to play in the football game. It's been a long night for FAMU.
Yeah, and the night looked so promising in the beginning. They did a great job coming out throwing the football, but after that first or second series, it was really downhill in a hurry for the Rattlers.
And when Quinn Gray went out of the game with the injury, it just seemed to take any kind of life they had out of them. 3rd and 5 for Zach Hart. Swings it out to Valdez, incomplete, penalty flag down, and that's going to be interference. And I'm afraid to say we don't have a name on number 44 for Florida A&M. He is not on the roster, and he's got no name on the back of his jersey.
We're in trouble, but we do know that that ball wasn't catchable, and he did take him down from behind, it looked like.
Pass interference by the defense. First down at the spot of the foul.
Oh, that'll move it to the 43 of Florida A&M. And I'm not kidding. We're looking at the official game roster, and it's just not there. So we're just guessing. That's what happens in 57-3 games. Zach Hart gives it to Williams. Darrell didn't find anything in the middle, bounced outside, and now it's going to be wrapped up at the 40-yard line. Grover Fields got the first contact, and then the posse arrived. Pickup of about 3. We're told Noel Rankins is the name of number 44.
And sometimes that's not the best way to get your name brought up, but, you know, at least we found it.
2nd and 7 for the Hurricanes. Darrell Williams, the walk-on from San Diego, now seeing time at tailback. It's a long way to go to be a walk-on, I'll tell you that. And bobbled football, and Darrell Williams falls on it. I think it was supposed to be a play-action fake.
You take it, I'll take it, nobody takes it, and it ends up on the ground.
And it's a loss of a yard. 3:46 and counting. And it'll bring up 3rd and about 8 for the Hurricanes. This one was over a long time ago, as Miami just rolled in the first half to a 40-3 lead. Third and long. Zach Hart at the controls. Hart will put it up. Good protection. Down the middle and under through Dan Smith, his tight end, at the Rattler 22-yard line. And that'll bring on the punt team. Zach still looking for his first collegiate completion.
Yeah, Zach disappointed because he had his big tight end, Dan Smith, going down the middle of the football field wide open. All he had to do was step into that and put a little bit more air underneath the football, and that was an easy completion.
And Freddie Capshaw, who's seen his first action as a Hurricane punter this evening and so far has done a nice job, will come on to kick it away again. Vernon Mitchell back to receive. Capshaw aiming for the near corner. It bounces at the 3 and into the end zone. Miami could not save it. That'll be 1st and 10 at the 20 for Florida A&M. Let's go down to Beth Mowens, check in with her on the sideline. Beth?
Well, Frank, Jeff Popovich has been very busy with the special teams unit and the defensive unit tonight. He's also been busy doing some modeling during the offseason. He was a cover boy for Abercrombie & Fitch, and his brother Doug has been very busy tonight as well. Doug also in that catalog, but you're also producing a documentary. You've been following the Canes around throughout the preseason and into the first 2 weeks. What have been some of the highlights for you?
Yeah, we've had a fun time. We're following the team all year, making a documentary. There's, you know, so much energy, and if we can just capture some of that, I mean, there's so much excitement, so it's great. We have, you know, Jarrett Payton arriving at school, Kenny Kelly playing baseball this summer, throwing a couple guys out at home from center field. You know, we got Jeff in Arizona running up hills, Najee with a million different jokes. So we got a lot of great stuff, and then a lot of intense stuff too. You know, coming out of the Ohio State, you know, tunnel before the game. that was big. So there's just a ton of stuff. We just film all the time.
Well, we look forward to seeing the finished product, and of course the same film agent that was used for the Blair Witch film. So hopefully we'll be seeing the documentary down the road. Thanks a lot, Doug. Let's go back upstairs.
Travis Williams picked up 2 yards on first down. Thanks, Beth, and Doug Popovich. And there's no doubting he's Jeff's brother. Looks like him, talks like him. Travis Williams again on the carry. Finding a little bit of room. Finally stacked up at the 28-yard line and driven back. A lot of Hurricanes in on that play. Bill Bernard, a walk-on defensive lineman, hustling down. And James Scott also in on the tackle along with Jim Wilson. Some of the young Miami defenders getting their first taste of action, including a couple of the walk-ons. Julio Jimenez, number 46. Bill Bernard, number 71.
Yeah, I believe everyone in an orange jersey got into this one.
I would think so. If they would have put an orange jersey on you and me, we might have been able to sneak in.
Way back.
3rd and 2. Dykstra. Oh, boy, Matt Walters putting a smackdown on Travis Williams. Rather, it was Kelsey Lordius with the carry, but whoever it was, Matt Walters just put the wood to it.
When Matt Walters gets a head of steam going in the wrong direction, if you're a running back, watch out, because he's going to make you pay. That's the second time, really, he's come untouched through the line of scrimmage and just devours a running back for FAMU.
Now, I realize that it's kind of garbage time, but Matt Walters is a guy who has come a long way, according to the Miami coaches, from when he first arrived on campus last year. And guess who's kicking, John? TJ. TJ's been the man tonight. Wobbles it out of there. And a fair catch by Edward Reed right at midfield. 15 times TJ Smith has gone back to punt tonight. He hasn't always gotten it off.
No.
And he's gotten one blocked and one
position.
deflected. But
he's been there 15 times.
TJ saying, are you sure there's not a little more in the scholarship after tonight? A little something extra for the effort?
TJ's limping off the sideline. I think he's just tired.
Hurricane ball at midfield. Robert Williams and Darrell Williams, the backfield. This is Darrell Williams with the football. Darrell keeps the feet moving and picks up close to 5 yards before he's shoved back into FAMU territory at the 45-yard line. This one counting down under a minute, 48 seconds to go. And the Hurricanes will get out of here apparently unscathed injury-wise, John. It appears Al Blades did not play tonight, didn't have to. So they save him for the Penn State game. And it looks like everybody else got out healthy, at least to the best of our knowledge.
Yeah, walking up to the line, it looked like number 66, Brett Romberg, may have got stepped on or hurt his ankle a little bit, and it looks like he's the only one that might be hurting going into tomorrow.
Darrell Williams again. Darrell Williams, and he's dragged down at the 40-yard line. And maybe a touchdown-saving tackle by Calvin Everett. Because Darrell, if he got away from Everett, had a lot of green grass in front of him. That is a first down for the Hurricanes, and that should be the last play of the ball game. Clock winds with 12 seconds left to go, and that's it. The Miami Hurricanes will walk out with a 57-3 victory over Florida A&M. And John, it's what I call a TCB game. Take care of business, try to get out without any injuries, and that's exactly what the Hurricanes did.
Well, the way the game started, you know, Miami was looking a little shaky, but on defense, they brought the pressure up, and they did what they needed to do in the first quarter, and then it just carried on to the offense and special teams, and then the route was on, Frank, and they did a great job of coming back after early adversity after that first series, and they really did what they needed to do, all culminating in a 57-3 win.
Ken Dorsey's first collegiate touchdown pass, it went to Ethnic Sands. James Jackson had a couple of touchdowns, and Clinton Portis scored a couple of touchdowns, the true freshman running back, in the backup role to James Jackson. So Miami 2-0 as they prepare to meet Penn State in 2 weeks here at the Orange Bowl. Special teams dominant for the Hurricanes tonight. Once again, our final score from the Orange Bowl, Miami 57, Florida A&M 3. For John Congemi, Beth Mowens on the sidelines, I'm Frank Fort. Thanks for watching. The preceding has been a presentation of ESPN Regional Television. Good night, everyone.